Yeah, live.
Hey, welcome back to the Wake Bake. Hey, can I get some tunage?
Tunage.
We're figuring it out. I think the speakers took a shit.
Oh.
Speakers took a shit.
After you were just talking so good about
They're old as fuck, but they sound good.
them. Hey, you know what? Either way, man, we run this show. What the fuck is up, guys? Welcome back to the Wake Bake. I'm your host, Blind James, like fucking always, man. You know where you can find me on Instagram, at The Real Blind James. Get all of our show through Facebook, watch our stream and videos on YouTube, or listen to it across all streaming platforms at The Wake and Bake with Blind James. And of course, pop over to patreon.com/Blind James. Look it up with that donation to help us keep our show afloat, keep us on the road, keep bringing you dope interviews like the one we're bringing you tonight. And of course, with me is the man, the legend, the Don who? What's up, Doc?
Shit, tripping over shit over here because I'm trying to record shit.
I thought that was somebody else.
No, man, I'm sitting here trying to record shit. Like, I'm not looking because I was looking at the camera and then like I was tripping over shit, man. I'm tripping, man.
You good, bro? You got your shit
I'm
together?
good. I'm good.
All right, good, man. Good. You gotta tell people they can find you, brother.
Don_Cooch, KOOCH
On the Instagram.
In the
In the
custody.
Instagram. Hell yeah, that's right. And then over here, we got our producer, the man running the stream. Gonna be popping the questions if y'all have any for us tonight. The producer, Waldo.
What's going on, everyone?
How you doing, my dude?
Doing amazing.
You ready to get blazed tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we calling it Blaze. Shouts out to my kitty, Mr. B. Blaze. All right, miss that fat guy. And then where can people find you, dude?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Party with Waldo.
That's right, man. And then if you know any bands or anything, you're hitting up any of the Wake and Bake pages, you will be talking to Waldo. Of course, man, that's our producer. And shouts out to Hazel for helping us run other shit, getting us all the other shit. Then, of course, our sponsor, Quad Vapory. Pop over there. You know where they're located. And then with us tonight, man, North Coast Cannabis. What's going on?
Not much.
Just chilling. You ready to fucking do a little Wake and Baking this evening?
I am.
All right, so let's get into a little bit, man. Where can the people find you?
Oh, yeah, we're at Instagram at North Coast Cannabis. So North_Coast_Cannabis. This is.
And then what is your name personally?
My name's Travis.
Travis. You want to drop your last name to the people?
No, it's all good.
All right, right.
No government over here.
Now, we first ran into you at the High Times Cannabis Cup Detroit.
100%, yeah.
All right, then we popped over, and then we were just, browsing the wares and bartering with the tradesmen like yourself.
Yep.
And then we ran into something that it piqued my interest the most out of any product or anything, other than the Raptor OG. Whoever had that, I missed that.
We need to find out.
I need to get, I'm on
Lifted extracts.
Is that who they were?
I do have it.
Okay.
I need to get on
You know them,
I
Travis?
don't know.
Raptor OG. Raptor. Okay. So good. But aside from that, you had the next greatest thing on my list. Just so much so that I held out for all 3 days of the cup. I was, burning down heavily, trying all kinds of dabs, amazing extracts, killer flower. And at the end of the day, man, Sunday came around and I was like, there's only one thing I'm spending money on. I have to get it. And what is it that you actually have? What are they called?
Yeah, so we do Canagars is our main focus on everything. So basically, we take the flour, the hash, the oil, all different forms of extract, the fan leaf of the plant. We cure it, cure the fan leaf, and then reconstruct all of it back together into a smokable. Do you guys have that one?
We got.
I got it in here, I think.
Which one did you? Which one did you use?
This one is a sour jack flour. So this is an eighth of flour.
Which I had the sour jack distillate.
Peep the logo.
extract,
Peep the logo.
but did not have the flour other than in there.
Yeah, so these
And
are.
your packaging is phenomenal, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Great.
Oh, yeah. Over the top.
I'm trumping it.
This is different than the last one, too.
Yeah.
Packaging. I love your packaging.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so we have to do it all right. If we're working with the best flour and the best extract, we can't just put it in a plastic tube. So
Right.
everything has to be. If we want to like we expect people to treat our product like it's worth. You know what I mean? And everybody spends a lot of money on medicine like that, especially high quality.
Super high quality.
Flour and oil, right? And so with that stuff, every aspect of it has to be done right. But this one that I brought tonight, this is just our smallest. This is a 2 gram Canada. It's half eighth of Gage Green Group. What was it? Fortune Teller, and a quarter gram of some ice cream cake cube sauce.
Ooh.
And then we have a layer of some lemonhead solventless full melt.
Now what's that?
So full melt is just a part of the process. It's like a bubble patch. So it's a form of extraction with solventless, meaning without solvent, right? So we're just using ice water.
Okay.
And we're going to wash the flour, break off the trichome heads, and then that's going to go straight to the food dryer, right? And that product then gets pressed into what we call rosin. You know?
Okay, I like rosin.
At least for the largest yields, that's how most guys are running that stuff right now. And so, that product by itself though is called full melt, because when you dab it, you're able to dab it. It's gonna melt. It's not gonna be like a bubble hash that you've pressed.
Waldo, how do you feel about full melt?
Fucking love it.
All right, cool. I was Scooch, you're saying. Now I go to these guys because I'm new to this whole this expanded form of marijuana. Okay, and this whole pot game. Before these guys, I was just grabbing whatever my dude had. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Now I'm getting hit to all these things, so I gotta go to these guys for approval on the things. And everything sounding correct, Waldo?
Oh yeah, he's 100% right.
Everything's
Dude, they know.
He knows.
Oh,
The
I like
man
it. I
speaks
like
the truth.
North Coast is official. That's why they're on this
That's what
show.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I like to have these guys though, because if any bullshit comes up, they will. They'll call you out.
Definitely.
For sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'm so
I was
intrigued.
gonna say, how long did you say that thing burns for, man?
So the little one here, this is the 4 gram that I got these guys tonight. The 4 gram one with the cannabis leaf is going to burn for about an hour and 10
Yeah, the
minutes.
4 gram is a little one that, about 6 different bands got to hit on, by the way.
No, it's good for about 50 people. I would
Right.
say about 50 people is the max on one of those. Like you said, you shared about 30. And
Right,
that's
yeah.
about comfortable. Like 30 would be comfortable.
Shit, they smoke for a while. So
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
that's what I'm
They
saying.
got to the point where we had to put it out for every band because everybody just was like, man, I'm good. Too much.
Oh no, it gets you fucking ripped, dude. Like
Wow.
after a while, because at first you're like, man, I'm gonna keep puffing it, and then you're like,
Right, yeah.
Yo.
Sometimes you're like, is this thing in
you're like, yo, it
You're like-
went out though, but I'm not even gonna let it. I'm good.
Yeah.
No, it's a different level.
And then dropping in our podcast, I totally forgot to in the intro, man. It's our buddy fucking John Casba, right? I said your last name.
Casbar.
Casbar. I said it like I was fucking
Lost
fucking blasting, bro. It's John Casba. It's John Casba. A friend man, Audit fucking Empire, dude. He's been in
Oh, yeah,
studio
shit, yeah.
on the show. Shit, yeah, boy. It's coming out soon, so keep an ear out. Bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some big news coming up about Audit Empire. But until that time, man, back to the product at hand here that intrigued me most. All right, so you lay down the what's it called again? Full melt.
Oh yeah, so this one right here, this one will burn about a half hour to about 40 minutes, I would say, with us. This is a half eighth of flour, a quarter gram of some high terpene full spectrum sauce. So
Okay, now
what
what is
that
sauce? There we
is,
go.
right?
Yeah,
So
get into
I'm
this,
gonna
get
break
into
it all
this.
down for you.
Get into this. Yeah,
Oh,
here we go.
So in the diamond mining process, right? You know what diamonds are? You guys familiar with diamonds?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
see
them.
it.
I fucking love them.
So diamonds are just pure THC. But what happens in that process is generally it's a butane extraction, right? So they're going to run BHO through the flour. They're going to pull the crude, pull out all the fats and lipids out of the crude. And then that is now going to be just a solution of the butane, right, in
Yeah,
the liquid
right.
state. And it's going to have all of the oils and the essential oils and the cannabinoids from the flour in that liquid. That is going to be put into either a diamond miner. I don't know. I think there's like a story about how it started with like a guy who poured all that stuff into a mason jar and then put it in his freezer for like 2 months. and then it sat in his freezer, and everything has a half-life, right? So everything's like a chemical. Any chemical has a half-life. It's gonna
It's
go
gonna break
away.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. And butane's is a few weeks. So in a couple of weeks, that butane starts to break down. It builds pressure inside of a closed container. The pressure forces the THC to crystallize right, and to fall out to the bottom.
Nice.
So it's just like basic chemistry, just like meth, right? But it's like, but with that, it's like that THC falls out to the bottom.
That's why I like diamond so much, because it's almost like hard drugs.
I had to give John this crazy ass look. I was like, yo, you know what he's saying over here?
Yeah, but
He
anyway,
knew what I was saying without saying a thing.
it's part of, I think it's like a law of chemistry that like compounds will attract each other, right? So like
Right.
that THC molecule and the other THC molecule bind together and
Because they
form
love-
a
yeah.
crystal, right?
Yeah.
And that's pure.
It's like survival.
That's beautiful.
So it's a yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
Survival
survival.
chemistry.
They're under pressure.
Yeah.
They're like, we need to survive. We
Let's
bind
bond
together,
together, yeah.
and then
Power
fall out.
numbers.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go onto a hot nail and make Blind James
But
real fucking
then-
happy.
Then what really happens, right, is all of those essential oils, right? All the things we smell, all the flavonoids, all the terpenes, all that separate, right? And they become that top solution that's left, which people call the sauce.
Oh yeah,
So
sauce,
when
man.
you
Turp
see
it up,
those-
slap it down, baby.
Those
Shouts
people,
out to Phone Homie.
right? Oh, no, he's the man.
That's our fucking boy,
Yeah, he's
dude.
the man. Yeah.
That's our dude.
But yeah. Anyways, when they pour off that sauce on the top, that's all the essential oils. So they still have to purge the last little bit of butane out of it. So they throw it in the back oven at really low temps and then purge that off. But then what you're left with is a solution that's 30 or 40% THC generally, and maybe 15 to 20% terpenes, like oils, essential oils. So all the flavors and everything. And if you're new to this stuff, man, terpenes are everything, right? And
That's what gives it the taste, right?
it's not just the taste. It's all the medicinal. Not, I won't say all, right? Because THC and CBD and all these cannabinoids have medicinal properties, but the terpenes are what determine how you feel when you smoke. So, for example, terpenes are in everything. Terpenes are in mangoes. They're in fruit. They're in
Citrus,
pine,
pine.
right? Everything that
Everything that's got a, like
that
a good
has a smell
Right,
has
yeah.
a terpene, right? Pine trees have terpenes, right? Everything. So what the terpenes do when you bring them into your body is they affect you in different ways. Like myrcene is going to be a pain reliever. It's going to make you more relaxed, more tired. It's also going to do something which they call like the entourage effect, which opens up your body's ability to absorb more THC.
Ooh, I like that.
So
I need some of that.
so that's why diamonds are cool, right? It's pure, it's 100%, but you can only absorb so much. So if
Right,
you're
right.
just getting that isolated compound of just diamond, then your body can only do so much. The rest is just pissed out and erasing it, you know? If you have myrcene, though, that's why people say eat a mango before you smoke, because it'll open up. It'll open up your ability to have more THC absorbed. But it's like the terpenes are what determine what's an indica, a sativa, or a hybrid, right? If you're grown at the equator, you're grown on the. It's nice, man. If you're grown at the equator, then they're going to produce more of like the sativa terpenes, right? You're going to get the limonene. You're going to get the pinene. You're going to get the stuff that gives you energy and focus, stuff that actually helps you retain memory, and stuff that helps you breathe better.
Alright, I like that.
So it's like the opposite of what a lot of people would say would be like the traditional, stoner, like, oh, he forgets everything, he doesn't do anything.
Right.
This is everything has a purpose and everything has an effect. If you're running more with indica stuff, you're gonna have more of the pain relief, the couch lock, the munchies, right?
Yeah.
I call it in the couch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the original indica. That's the name of it. They call it indica.
Oh, really?
In the couch. There you go, James. Right next to you.
Wood. Right there.
It's the mouth.
Yeah.
Right on. Good looking.
Yeah.
Alright.
What can it represent?
Cognac game, Cognac game.
It was
So
battle
Garcia Vega.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Straight bars. Talking
Oh,
about your
alright,
moms and your fams. It's like,
How we do it out here. We want to do it. Fucking right. So you get the I'm sorry, so back to the terps are what
Everything. They're
make
everything.
it
a sativa, a hybrid, or an indica, right? So that's why like there's only one dispensary or provisioning center in Michigan that I know of right now that's reporting terpenes on everything, and that's Common Citizen, right? If you go in there, every strain they have in their store is going to have a terpene profile with it. When I was in Las Vegas, it's required by the state of Nevada to have the top 3 terpenes and the top 3 cannabinoids in every strain that's sold or anything that's sold. So like the problem with not giving terpene profiles and selling flower to people is like it doesn't matter the THC percentage, right? If it's over 18%, we're all gonna get stuff, right? It's like that's how it is. You know?
No Reggie over here.
Right? Shit, I started smoking Reggie.
Hey, everybody did. Kids these days don't have to worry about the Reggie, and it's like, wow, you didn't have to go through that phase. Okay.
Every Christmas it was just better.
Exactly. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Christmas better.
Yes, very true.
But yeah, anyways, man, it's like that's pretty much everything. And so I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Terpenes.
Everything.
Yeah, terpenes are everything.
And then so then sativa. How do terpenes make it indica or sativa?
Basically, by like, well, indica and sativa aren't really. It's hard to explain, right? It is based on terpenes, but it's not. Terpenes are locational, right? So like in a certain area or region, you're going to get a certain terpene profile. So really what makes a sativa is it's grown at the equator. And these things, but in reality, the difference between the two things are the terpenes, right? If you get distillate from a sativa strain and you get distillate from an indica strain, it's distillate. You're going to get, it's THC, that's all you get.
Yeah, that's what you're
You're
getting.
not getting a sativa
It's the
THC.
same chemical.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a compound, right?
Yeah, right.
So you're gonna feel the same on both those. There's no sativa distillate. There's no
Nope.
hybrid distillate.
The
There's
terps determine all of
the
that.
terps are what give you that. And so if I have myrcene and caraphenylene, then I'm gonna be more on an indica profile. If I have a myrcene and a limonene, like an OG, then I'm gonna be a hybrid, right?
Okay.
If I'm a limonene and a pinene and it's strictly on those. So the problem is we don't have any real sativas anymore. There are, but nobody can buy them commercially because commercial growers won't grow them.
Why is such?
Equatorial strains take anywhere from 14 to 22 weeks to flower.
No shit.
So versus right? Because you've never probably had a real one.
Exactly.
So what's your guys' sativas?
Nothing. We all get like I'm not gonna say nothing. There is one of my passions is land races, right? So if you get into land race, that's when you get a true sativa. So
There's a land race connoisseur.
yeah, and that's where you might have had a real sativa if you've had a land race sativa. And that's the only real sativa you get, is because everything else is gonna take, it is gonna be crossed to shorten the flowering period to 9 weeks, 8 weeks.
Right.
So that way a commercial grower will grow it, right?
Okay.
They're growing indicas because the reason it's America, dude. We're marketing everything, right? The reason everybody is big on the cookies is because they have the best marketing.
Right.
It's like it's not because it's the best flower. I mean, it's great flower, but great flowers in a lot of different forms.
Yeah, right.
But
But I noticed, especially at the cup, that a lot of the best flowers are the one that people only had a jar of.
100%. 100% is the one, because the small batch guys are the ones who are doing the best quality stuff. You get somebody who's working on 300 plants, they can't put the care into it that someone does on 12,
Right, absolutely.
But
I go with it.
but the other thing is though, sativas, they aren't going to yield much more. Maybe
That's what I was gonna ask you, man, because I heard that too. That like indica like yields a lot more than sativa.
well, it's going to be a fatter bud. It's going to be bushier. It's going to be easier to grow. It's going to yield at least the same, but in half the time.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So if I want to harvest it at the same time, then yeah, I'm going to get half the amount on it. Right. But I have to run that sativa and that's the other problem with a lot of like land races. Most guys growing it are going to grow an outdoor land race in the Michigan weather or Ohio. You're not going to get the profile you get at the equator.
You have to start early, and you have to have a perfect.
And you have to have a greenhouse.
Exactly.
That's it. You have to have a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Water bounce.
I
I
don't know
think
where
it's something to do. Oh yeah, I got you.
the camera. You were passing it to the camera though.
That's cool. They
There you go, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
fans hit the-
Hope y'all are enjoying the podcast this evening.
Shit, yeah.
But
yeah.
but yeah, man. So with all that stuff, it's like I've been pursuing land races. Gage Green is big on land races. The guy Jeff, he's really cool. He had a one he grew this year in Malawi that was really nice that we get to try at the Organic Cup. If you guys have a chance next year, you should come up to the Organic Cup. That
We're
was
gonna
one
try
of
to
the-
get into a lot of cups next
one
year.
of the-
Big full coverage.
One of the best events I've been to this year, and it was chill. It was just a few hundred people, but it was like the best few hundred people. Super high quality speaking. Green Life Productions came out from Las Vegas. They're running the badass organic grow out there. Steve Cantwell and Dragonfly Earth Medicine gave a really cool talk. A bunch of organic growers. Just everybody was sick. Bill the Soil was there. Like a bunch of people, man.
Oh, dude, they were cool ass people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked to Jeremy?
I don't know who we talked to. Do you remember who we hollered at the tent?
Bill the Soil?
I don't
It
remember.
was a girl.
Maybe his wife.
Yeah.
Him and his wife were there.
Okay,
I don't
it was
know.
probably his wife.
Dude, there was just a bunch of good people up there. Straight Organics came up. And it was the first year event, and it was just like a bunch of people just hanging out, having a really good time. Was all it was. It wasn't like high times where you're so busy you can't really talk.
That's
You know what I
the kind of time we're like.
Yeah, and you guys, to
yeah.
network with people, like that's the space to be.
Right.
Because you don't want to, like, high times is cool.
No, it was
But
too much. We didn't even have space.
Nobody
for us.
wants to
Yeah.
talk.
No.
Everybody has too much shit going on. You have to go to these.
Trying to make that hustle, trying to money.
Yeah, because that's
Trying
the cool thing about high times is you make a shitload of money there. You know, you have
Yep.
to give a good show and you
Right.
make money, and everybody wants to spend money here.
Right, that's what you came for.
I love that cigar lighter, man.
Thank you.
Is that a triple torch?
Yeah, this one we got to make up.
Oh, sick.
There's a little one.
Sick.
Nice.
Dude.
Nice.
Oh, do you have extras of
I
those?
don't, dude. I will though. I'm gonna be getting something.
That'd be sweet, dude.
Yeah,
I'll
they just
cop one
want
of
me
those
to-
with my next Magar.
Test it out.
Yeah, they want me to. I got samples. That's all I got.
Show that up to
Okay.
the camera real quick. Let the people get a peep of that bad boy. I can't do shit.
Oh, it's on the other side.
Fuck, I'm really.
No, I was talking there.
Let's see if we can get it to focus on this one.
You really did? We've been
You got-
hanging out for
you got-
like 30 minutes now,
You
dude.
got two things in your hand that you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm working on it, bro. I did get a new badass stick that'll fuck someone up, though. It's all aluminum and shit. Ooh.
No more bent stick, man. Fuck.
No, dude, fuck that fatty dude. There you go.
He's lucky I didn't fuck him up, dude.
I know, dude. You get that strong. That was funny. My dude could drop a crack.
Well, he bent your stick,
I'm not
man.
Go to jail in Chicago, man.
Somebody bent your stick at a show in Chicago.
Right.
Just stepped on it, not looking.
Yeah. Caught it between his legs and tripped over it and bent it. It was like,
Dude, he's
what the
fucking
fuck?
drunk
And then
asshole.
Cooch
Damn.
ran after him and was like, hey, motherfucker. And
So what happened?
hollered at him. Nothing, bro.
So,
Nothing.
yeah, not the.
Yeah. I wrestled my whole
I
life.
contemplated
Like,
whipping this guy's.
The guy was
Both
like,
him and his
"I
friend.
didn't do nothing."
Him and his friend did not want no smoke at all.
Well, no, see, I wrestled my whole
And I
life,
was like,
and I was always the smallest guy on the team.
I'm gonna be the one provoking this shit, you know?
Yeah.
They're gonna look at me like I'm the crazy one.
You were a wrestler?
Yeah, my whole life, right from five,
Hey,
6 years old up to college. But,
Damn, man.
but like I was always the smallest guy on the team, and like there's always the
feel that,
biggest
right?
guy on the team, though,
I
right?
feel that.
And like in high school, this one kid, we were at a football game, and this kid like tried stealing this other kid's bike, and like we would just get the biggest guy on the team to come, and like it's funny when you have a guy that's way bigger than another guy,
Yeah.
like what people will do.
They just shut up.
Yeah, they're all,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey man, you're gonna apologize to him." And he's like, "I'm sorry." You know, it's even better.
I want to smoke, but I want the hand, bro.
It's always the kid that thinks he's hard. You know, it's always the kid who thinks he's hard. And he's all gangster and shit, and we're like in Ortonville. You know, it's like
I don't know what an Ortonville
I don't know what that is, but it sounds rural.
Brecksville of Michigan.
Right, and it's just like you know, you gotta You get this guy who thinks he's a gangster. I remember one time the one kid's name was Austin, and he was the heavyweight. And we were talking in the hallway, and this other kid was talking to some girls, and he had one pant leg rolled up back in the day.
I remember that.
And Austin came over and like rolled his pant leg down from behind. And it was like the guy was so angry until he turned around.
This
Yeah,
mad disrespectful beat.
he was like, "Whoa,
Oh.
hey man!" he's like, "Oh hey man, I'm sorry, I was just fixing your pant leg. He was all bunched up there." And he's like, "Oh, thanks."
That tune changed so fast.
Love it. Dude, so high school wrestler, how'd you get into the marijuana game?
I didn't smoke weed through high school or anything like that.
Oh, man.
When'd you get into the weeds?
Not through like, here, this is for you, so I keep doing it.
I've been smoking weed since I was born,
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Two
start
of
smoking
them.
weed till college. Till
It was the
after,
morning.
Like, halfway through college, I started.
Where'd you go to college?
I got a scholarship to wrestle at Mott, so I went to
What the fuck is not?
Mott Community College in Flint.
Okay.
Alright, so
Yeah,
you gotta
I
get
lived
us.
in Flint
We're
for
from
like
Cleveland,
5
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I lived
so-
in Flint for like 5 years, so I was out there.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
drink the water?
No, I was there. I left. Actually, moved to Texas from Flint, so I moved to San Antonio in 2010.
Yeah, out, bro.
So
That
then
was before all the bodies contaminated the lake, bro.
right before the serial killer too.
Right,
Oh,
alright.
jeez.
I didn't even know about the serial killer. Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's a guy who stabbed me.
Watch you like a child.
Stabby guy.
Stabby.
Well, we're from Cleveland, so
See,
we
Flint-
understand. People get stabbed a lot.
When I lived there, right, Flint was the most dangerous city in America. It's
Dayton Avenue, baby.
yeah, right. Dude, I was just listening to them last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite. FBI is one of my favorite.
I was listening to FBI.
Get out of town, bro. That's one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time,
No,
bro.
yeah. It's
Oh,
just-
dude.
That's so
Hell yeah.
funny.
bro.
Yeah,
That's what's up,
I
man. Bootleg shoestring.
bootleg is just
Oh,
I
man.
mercy.
Yeah, yep.
But
Yes.
but yeah, no.
I hope all of our Michigan viewers are enjoying this. I know what the fuck they're talking about.
Michigan and Texas have like a
Got that
thing.
bond?
There's like a thing there. I feel
Yes,
like
there is.
we
Absolutely.
both hate Ohio State.
Fuck
Go Bucks! Go Bucks! Fuck them piss weasels. Fuck them piss
I lived in
weasels.
Columbus for 2 years on campus.
Go
alright?
C-Bus.
I bought the Ohio State series T-shirt.
You had to blend in.
No, I bought the Ohio State shirt. Dude, it was badass campus. Literally, you get a 30-pack
Dude,
of
that
beer.
party is
You get
fun.
an Ohio State shirt. You can walk into any house, give 2 guys beers, and you'll go
You're
Bucks,
in.
and then you're in the party. You want a beer, bro? Go Bucks, right? I had this whole idea to make T-shirts hating on Michigan.
Yeah,
Sell them at Ohio State and
Do it.
Columbus.
that's so
People
funny.
buy them
Yeah,
up.
they do it a
Yeah,
lot.
people will buy them,
That's
but
how
they
it
get
works.
me and someone from Michigan to hate
So,
on us.
yeah,
that's
Who's
okay.
really winning?
That's so
It's all
funny.
right, though.
Hey,
If you got the right design, they don't give a fuck.
Capitalism. That's all I'm gonna say. Capitalism.
Hey, I heard that like whenever we play you guys are just like whatever. Like you guys are pretty much expecting to lose though.
Oh no, dude, I don't know. I'm not that hard though. I'm not.
Oh,
that hard.
yeah, I don't-
Like, I'm not.
When you guys do put up a fight, it's actually worth watching. I fuck with that shit.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like that. There's.
I love the
rivalry
rivalry.
there.
It's
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
Without the rivalry, what is it?
Yeah.
I hate Michigan sports, but I love Michigan.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an Ohio thing. You guys know.
Great
You guys got it.
Really cool people here.
Michigan is like the California.
Good
Midwest.
music.
All right, enough
You can say
politics.
that,
Back
though.
to cannabis.
Because
Back to
Chicago
cannabis
is not
music.
to like where Michigan is on the cannabis side at least. So
Yeah.
You
know.
Chicago's
Near-
supposed to
near
live there. for a
right,
few years.
Chicago's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Chicago's pretty. I love their
I've seen the
skyline,
best
man.
blues ever in my life. Chicago.
Dude,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I lived in St.
That's
Louis for a little
fun,
bit.
too.
St. Louis has nice blues. too.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
I heard. I have yet to get
damn,
down
so
to
you've been
St. Louis.
everywhere then. Shit.
I did. Yeah, I've been. I had an office. I did a marketing company before I did cannabis. So I did. I did like direct marketing. So we built door-to-door teams. But we worked in. I had an office in Boston.
That sounds like a pyramid scheme.
Columbus. I was on Long Street.
Door-to-door teams?
Yeah,
That sounds like a
definitely.
pyramid scheme as well.
No.
Yeah, the smirk. I saw that smirk. No.
No,
Not
definitely
at
not.
all.
It's not a pier.
We were doing.
It's a funnel.
Energy. It was energy. So like we were getting discounts on electric bills. bills. And
That's a scheme. If
So
I
you're talking about like IGS or something like that.
One of
Yeah.
those sketchy people that come to the house like,
But it's like
hey,
not
I can go over
IGS,
to
it's like a
Mexico.
sub company,
No.
or is it like
I'm
IGS?
like, I like to
IGS,
go about $30 a month.
Okay, that's cool. That's actually that's.
We would get contracts with these companies.
All I
like
need is your
supplier.
social security card.
They would hire us to get them customers. And
Passport.
All that.
the customers would pay a rate on that. So.
That's
It
cool.
was just like if you're paying a bill, you can pay 10 cents, you can pay 9 cents. It's up to you.
Right.
If you say yes, you don't pay us. You make a phone call and it goes to the electric company. But anyways,
I have
besides
friends that I'm just saying that because I have friends
When
that
did the
work for
interest
IGS.
rate
So.
dude, everybody in Ohio, because Ohio got beat up. I was down there for like 4 years. Everybody,
Dude,
worked out.
The variable rates and shit just fucked everybody, and people don't even know about it. They don't even know about that shit, and it's like, yo, fuck with that shit, man. I mean, I was supposed to work for IGS, but I had a bad
So,
driving record.
It's not about it's not about like a scam or not. It's not a scam.
It's like you're trying to help people.
There's good companies
you
and
know.
bad companies out there for sure. But it's all about like knowing what's going on with your bill. Most people don't understand.
Exactly. They don't even
how to
look.
read a bill.
They don't know. Exactly.
And so if they don't understand what's going on with their bills, and then they just start letting shit go, and like Texas
They'll
was
just
the very
fuck you.
first state
They
that did
don't
this.
care.
That's how I got into this shit. Is when I moved to Texas. All these guys I worked with at the restaurant we moved to Philadelphia together. So we worked in Philly. I worked door to door through all of North Philly, all of South Chicago. I worked Columbus, California. We did.
North side Columbus.
I worked everywhere in Columbus. I lived over by campus for a couple of years, and then I lived over by Easton.
Oh, all right. That's nice.
Badass Somali food if you're in Columbus. African paradise, bro. It's
I'd be down to try
oh my
that.
gosh, dude, it's on
I'm
Morse.
way down for
Drop.
that shit.
That's the drop.
Did you
Yeah.
check out Eddie's hideout?
I haven't,
Okay.
but
Thurman.
I haven't either,
I'm
but like I'm waiting for it.
Where's that?
Thurman Merman?
Burger spot, man.
Ooh.
Burger.
Oh yeah, I have. That's not on the south side though, isn't it?
Titties.
Isn't that like
Dude.
I think it's in Germantown.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's in Germantown. But Morse Road, African Paradise. You go in there, you order the chicken steak sport
What's that?
Sport.
with spaghetti and rice and
Okay.
bananas. You have to get
I'm a
bananas.
spaghetti guy
All
myself.
right.
You know.
All right.
It's not spaghetti like
I
you
know.
know.
I know.
It's not spaghetti like you know, but
Not
it's the shit.
spaghetti like I.
And you eat that. It comes out. It's like enough. It's $10 a person basically, but they're gonna give you one plate that's like huge,
Fat.
massive,
Fine.
and just like chicken and rice and spaghetti. And then it's just like you just feast on it, and it's like unlimited drinks. You don't pay for drinks. You
What?
can order a Coke, a water, a juice, a tea, and it's all free. And then you pay $20, $30 for your meal, and it's fucking bomb. It's awesome.
Put me in, coach.
No, dude, seriously.
Yeah, right. I'm ready to play.
And then
Somali food.
Somali food.
Ooh.
That's something I've never
You got it.
even thought to do.
Yeah.
Ohio, dude. They have a ton of Somalis in Ohio.
Not in
At least in
Cleveland that I
Columbus.
know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Dude, Cleveland
Maybe
is
in Akron.
crazy.
Yo, we don't even have Tim Hortons, except for like
Oh, that's the
Columbus,
best
bro.
coffee in the
I
world.
Yeah,
love
we
Tim
had Tim
Hortons.
Hortons in Columbus, yeah.
That
In
dark
Columbus, not in
not
Cleveland or anything.
Cleveland.
That's just Cleveland's. Dude, I don't.
Cleveland's getting them though. Like they're just now coming to
And
Cleveland.
we
Yeah.
got some Raising Cane's.
I've had some bad experiences in Cleveland.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. America's Best. You guys ever go to the America's Best in Cleveland on the
I
south
don't
side?
need to. I live there.
Don't.
Dingoes don't.
Jabroni's, the
That's why I live.
bar.
I live
Mhm.
on the fucking west side in Bougie Land.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything. I'm not
The
gonna-
west side's not bad. The west side's not bad. The east side you should avoid.
I don't know what's America's Best. Man.
I live literally 2 minutes from Rocky River, so
I can like this, right?
Yeah.
I'm in like the probably the whitest part of Cleveland, aside from like Brexford and Beechwood.
So, getting
Shout
back
out
to
Fairview.
weed,
Shout out.
Weed, yes.
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
when you light these, you want to make sure not to like destroy the tip with fire. You know what I mean? So try to keep it like above the flame, and just kind of toast it till you get a full
Cherry.
light on everything.
Yeah.
And then once it's completely cherried, these ones are a little bit easier to light than the box press.
Fucking.
I
You
like
smell
the
that.
box press was a tough one to light.
Smell that?
Yeah.
It took. Yeah, I had to light it just like a
What-
regular cigar. I was just like you were saying there, like use it and like get it going real slow.
You know what my other favorite part of it was when it got super tiny and you split it.
Oh
And
yeah.
you burnt the nugget out of it.
Oof.
Oh my god, I was toasted. I went to bed.
We did bong snaps of the roach, and it was just ruthless.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
So sad. Oh, right there. That's a nice tip.
Yeah, that was a glass tip.
So, all right, now explain what the process is. And you roll these by hand?
Yeah, everything's hand rolled.
Really?
Yep, everything's hand rolled.
God, this looks like it came with a wrapper, bro. Perfect.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, no, I mean, that's how it should look, right? If you
Yeah,
don't
Now
know-
you guys know
100.
I mean, just,
why
you
I'm
know,
not challenging him to the blind blunt rolling competition.
Honestly, I'm down to watch that. That'd be the most interesting.
I'd like to see how it rolls.
Yeah, please. That'd be the most interesting one yet.
Yes,
Come
it
on.
would. It would. I'm down. Fuck it. Let's roll.
Hell
Yes.
Let's roll.
Blind
I'm gonna
blunt
put
off.
You know what? If I'm going to talk, if I'm going to come in with big dick energy, I better be able to, whip out a big dick. That's all.
Better be able to let it swing, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
I started, that's all I smoked my whole life mostly was blunts.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, James.
Well, dude,
not
Party
my whole
foul. Oh, yeah.
who is that?
That was
Yeah, there you go.
Who is that? Look at-
Jason Pollock.
Oh, damn it, Jason. Damn it, fuck you.
That's the dude who blew the bull, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of the devil.
Beautiful
shout out.
bull.
That's
You know what
why
I'm saying?
he called because we were shouting him out about the bull.
Oh, yeah, because he's been blowing some glass for our homies at Fall.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go
That's nice.
kill this.
Yeah,
Because that was unprofessional.
No, you're good.
What of a kind? What of a kind?
Um,
And it's glow in the dark.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Nice. That's what's up.
yeah, no, but not my whole life. I was, I've only been working for a few years. It's about 10 years.
Yeah, but when did you come in realize you were the fucking roll master, dog?
No, I mean, it's never been like that. I don't think of myself like that. I just think like if we're gonna do something, then we should put effort into whatever we're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like there's a whole lot. Everything's a learning process your whole life, I think, right? So like that's one thing. I don't know if we've mastered it yet. I think that there's things we can definitely do to improve. I was proud of you. To improve everything that we're doing. But I think that we're doing stuff nice. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
But
If you
Sure
could change,
are.
What would you like to change? What are some of the things you'd like to do different about the rolling or press process?
I don't know if there's anything I want to change yet. It's just about being able to scale everything up, right? And just
Right on.
the challenge is scaling everything up, but also keeping it.
And maintaining the quality and everything. Yeah.
Like I'm not going to sacrifice like a machine pre-roll.
Or just hiring some random fucking people?
Yeah, no. Everybody who we work with has to be,
Experienced.
Yeah, I mean, we can train people for sure, but it's like you have to be willing to put in effort to whatever you're doing. Have pride in your work and care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
When you do
Dude, them Canagars, definitely, you can tell. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, you can tell. The craftsmanship they're all there. Dude.
Absolutely. Did we have? Did you crack that one that we got?
I did crack it.
You did.
Yeah, so the box press, that's the first thing I did. So
Let's put that up to the cam so people can check out what that bad boy looks like. So what'd you do with that one? Sorry.
we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So box pressing is something that we're pretty passionate about, and what it is here. You want to do that now?
Yeah.
So that you can see it. It's a method of cigar making from Cuba, right? And so that's what. When we started, I had a friend when I lived in Boston. I worked for a company that had a space inside of a Best Buy, so I was a manager for this little area. And one of my friends who used to smoke weed with me, who worked at the in the fancy, like the nice TVs and shit.
Right.
He called me up one day and he was like, "Yo, man, after I moved to Michigan, I told him to move to Michigan. I'm moving back to Michigan. So I was gonna move back to Michigan. I'm gonna start growing weed and doing shit and for the medical stuff. And he hit me up one day. He's like, "Hey, dude, you should try making some Canagars." And I was like, "I don't know what they are." So I
Get me hip, sir.
right, yeah. So I checked.
That was like me, but at cannabis, could be like Cannagars, and I was like, what are those?
Yeah.
What are those?
Yeah.
You know who got me hip was Jean Carlos.
Yeah, Jean Carlos. Yeah, so he's the reason I have this glass tip right now.
He taught me everything that I ever learned about Canagars, and then like unknowingly, I purchased one of his Magars And like, just because I was like, well, this fits all the guidelines that I learned in my head. But then I was reading it as I like went to light it, and I was like, oh shit, no wonder it met all the standards I was, taught by watching his Instagram videos.
Get me hit now. What the fuck y'all are talking
So basically, just about like if you're gonna use cannabis, it's about properly curing everything before you start rolling with it, right?
Mhm.
Some people, some people who make cannabis are just taking fresh leaf and wrapping it up.
That's fucked up.
And I mean, it's just like with flour, right? If you cure flour too fast, you're gonna have like a hay smell, right? It's gonna smell like grass, and the grass is chlorophyll, and so you're gonna trap chlorophyll. And the whole process of curing your flour that's supposed to take 10 days to 2 weeks, maybe even months, to dry and cure, is slow drying your flour allows the metabolic processes inside the plant, the sugars and the enzymes, the chlorophyll and everything, to continue to break down, right? And if you speed dry it and you trap everything in a sense,
enough time.
Yeah, you don't give it enough time to actually, like we talked about half-life.
Right, yeah.
Everything has a half-life, and so that stuff's going to go away if you allow it to. But if you trap it, then what happens is you get stuck with this really harsh smoke. It's really, you'll notice Gage's flour isn't harsh. It's really smooth.
Yeah.
It's because they cure it perfectly to the point where, I mean, one of the main dudes who's growing for them, he's taking half gram bone rips, right, at a time. And he can tell everything about his flour, right? Because if you're taking that much in and it's not properly cured, it's going to burn.
It's going to hurt, dude.
Right?
Oh, okay.
And so if it's smooth on that, then it's definitely going to be smooth on anything else anybody tries.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like, as a person who does bong snaps like all the time, that's like become my regular thing. I used to dab really like frequently, and now I have switched over to flour lately. And like, yeah, if a handful of the buds that I won't name names or anything, but a handful of the scoops from High Times Cup, as soon as I got home and put it in the bong, it smelled great, it looked nice, but then I hit it and I was like, man, like it was a bummer.
It tastes like ash.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not any different, man, in the medical legal market right now. You have to know who's growing your weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter because, I mean, I've been in commercial facilities where they've chopped plants and sold weed within 4 days. You know what I mean?
Wow.
How the fuck do you do that?
That's, yeah.
How do you dry out your weed and have it
blow dryer to it?
trimmed, dried, cured, and sold in
Ready to
4
get.
days, 5 days?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Shit, yeah.
Speakers are working again, huh?
Yeah, yes, they are.
Dude, not gonna lie though,
Hit the wrong
I took some nice deep hits of that bitch, dude, and I was fried. Like right after, like I'm cool now, but like I was fried for a second. I was like,
I heard you get the chickadee chokes over there.
I was getting the chokes, but after the chokes, dude, I was like, yo, that's what I'm looking for. Is that really euphoric, fucking great high from this shit?
And look how it's burning too, man. It's like burning like perfect.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I
Like
can't,
just
yeah,
slow and damn.
Yeah, that's how.
And like he said, the taste, dude, on point.
Yeah.
Terps for days.
Nice.
It's
And-
all terps, baby.
And yeah, this is something for people to share, for groups. You do music, and music and cannabis are heavily
Go ahead.
related.
Hand in hand, yo.
And so it's
That's
like,
what keeps scores alive.
Yeah.
it's like music is the same thing. If you're by yourself all the time, it's not as enjoyable if there was nobody at your concerts. Right?
Right?
Yeah, mine suck.
I mean,
Sure.
you'll do
I
it,
got
right,
you.
for a passion, but it's
I hear you
it's
over there.
You want to have people enjoy what you do, and you want to have it's something that you want to share. Right?
Yeah.
Cannabis is always better when it's shared.
No, yeah.
Definitely.
Music's better when it's shared.
100%.
And just like music, man, you get a better vibe and a better feel off of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, way better, right? Everything's
That's
better.
how rock and roll came to be.
You know what? And
That's
that's
how a
still
lot of
smoking
music
that
came to be.
Jazz days and
Jazz
blues days, shit. They were like, the reefer's always got to stay with this music, man. That's what helps.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, bro. Aside from that, man, music in general and pot have just opened up together now.
Always
So many
coexisting.
musicians now are just so open about what they do. They're like, dude, come on.
I hate that we grew up in that society where it was like looked down upon.
Right, though?
It was
Class
like,
one drug.
why does it have
I
to
don't
be
know,
looked
man.
at
I
as a
think
bad
it's
thing?
kind of. I kind of like.
I like feeling like
But
a
at the same
cowboy.
time, it gives
Now
us
we're-
it gives us the opportunity to make money and
Think
grow
about,
up.
think about how unappreciative your kids are gonna be.
Right? We're gonna get to say,
We went through it.
you kids don't
They're
understand.
gonna be like, "Oh, great, you can smoke cigarettes, cool."
They're gonna tell us, Dad,
What
shut
if your
up.
dad was excited he could smoke cigarettes? Would you care? Not at all. No,
You
it's
know,
not.
like, Dad, I can buy that at the fucking convenience store.
But no, I think we're in a cool place because like with this, like what we're doing, it's like there's only a handful of brands that are even doing stuff like this, right? There's only a handful of people that are putting stuff together at a really high quality level.
That's actually why you caught my attention about this little girl. I said the one product, I was like, you know what? I was like, I can't.
You had the
We are
best
all like,
marketing
I
and
can't bring
like
my heart to buy anything else.
just
I need that.
all around. Like I think you were the most professional person there.
Yeah,
one
you
up,
were
one
very
up by
informative.
far. Yeah.
Very
Like
informative.
even amongst the madness and all the people, you were super like intimate with like each group of people that came up to you, and that was super cool.
Well, I think it's necessary. Like that's what I learned. Like if I didn't have the marketing experience from before, you know, it would be harder to build the business that we're building.
Right.
Because with a high quality product, if I want someone, right, for example, our 8-gram Canagar is going to be $200 or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if it's like $200 you can spend on something,
You want to know what you're getting.
yeah, you have to know why it's worth it and what.
Yeah,
what
I try to
Definitely.
explain that to
Yeah.
people, like when I posted on Instagram, the first one got from you, and I was like $100 blunts, and the people were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
And then other people were like, "That's dope," and I was like, "I know, right?"
but it's all about.
It's definitely worth buying though. Investing.
People don't
because
understand
You can
that,
smoke on
though.
it if you're smoking it personally. Like I smoked most of it personal, unless like I was with someone smoking it.
That fucking thing
You
will last
know,
me 2 weeks.
It lasted me at least a week or two. Like,
Yeah.
bro,
For sure.
it was worth it. I was like, yo, I kind of got taxed on it. Like I thought at first, but then I was like, yo, after I'm smoking it day after day and getting that same high that I was like,
He was like, I didn't get
yo, this is
taxed.
fucking great. You know? I'm gonna buy another. That's exactly what I was thinking. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, we try to make sure people have good experiences with what we do, you know, so we put quality product into it, and it's like a lot of the stuff you see with pre-rolls, quote unquote, right? They aren't quality product. Like,
Yeah.
I've had free pre-rolls that I've been like
Garbage.
disappointed that I
Yeah.
shared with people
Yeah.
because it's like, what the fuck did I just make you smoke? You know?
That's the hippie cigarettes. He was talking about that same shit because he was saying like
Landrace
that
India.
nobody
yeah.
gives a fuck about it, but he actually takes the time to actually do every single one himself because it's not good unless you know it's not good unless you do it like that.
Yeah.
You know?
We did a package of pre-rolls, I don't know if you guys saw them last week, for Gage Green. It's really cool. It was a 10-pack. So I really don't do pre-rolls, but these I really do for them.
Yeah, I saw
They were
that.
like, yeah, I'll do that one.
I did see those actually, and I was confused because I was like,
And the
you
white-
normally, I thought you did
The white
Canagar.
is always something that pops out. And the white and gold though too. People
It
are
was
like, yo,
beautiful,
that's
though.
clean, that's cool.
Like that was
Yeah.
nice
I
as
mean,
fuck
it's
looking,
Gage
dude.
So their flower is fire, you know.
Yeah.
We did some Canagars for them for their event too, but yeah, I mean, the one way I would do a pre-roll is like in a box, you know, where it's like a box of 10. So they came with a pack of 10. And,
That's sweet.
but that one was really cool because this lady, her name is on Instagram is @Beam Paints, BEAM Paints, and she's out in Manitoulin Island
You blowing over there, bro?
In-
Oh, fuck that.
in Lake Huron. So she's in Lake Huron on the island in the Canadian side, and her father is a famous native artist out of Canada, and she started a handmade, artisanal, plastic-free paint, a paint company. So they make all types of paints, and I saw one of her posts online. I said, well, that's some badass gold paint, and I was looking for gold paint for the project with Gage. And I'm like, I'm gonna hit her up because that's kind of right in line with everything we're doing. Is if we want to use something, we want it to be like, what's the like I always think like, what's the best?
What's the
thing?
gold standard?
Yeah, what's the best thing this could be if there was no budget and it was just like we could do whatever we wanted, right? Like what would I want to do?
And then
Yeah,
execute. That's
And-
wonderful. Love
and
it.
so like it's like this lady, she hit us up, and I was like, hey, could I stamp your ink because I wanted to stamp it, stamp the G's on each pre-roll for Gage, and
Right on that.
and then she got back to me. She's like, yeah, I'll send you some pictures of somebody who stamped it. And I was like, cool. And she messaged me back like, hey, we looked at your page, you know, and like, I'll make it for. Or she's like, I can make this out of hemp oil.
Oh,
She's
no
like,
shit.
I can make an oil-based stamping ink out of hemp.
That's so.
And I'm
sweet.
like, what?
Nice.
She's
And it's gold.
Yeah, and so she got like
Wow.
hand ground minerals from Canada, organic Canadian hemp oil, and then blended them into like this badass stamping ink. And then I was like, how much would that be to do all that, right? And she's like, oh, I'll do it for free. And I'm like, what? I'm
How much
like,
more efficient can you guys get?
no, that lady is awesome. I can't believe that she would do that for us.
Yeah, give her a shout out again. What is it called?
Beam Paints at Beam Paints on the
Sure.
That's at BEAM Paints.
Yeah.
There you go. Walnut
Nice.
coming in crucial. This guy could go to media school, man. Shouts out to
Shouts
our
out to the
producer.
lawyer. Shouts out to the lawyer.
Blurbles. Fucking, we had a last producer who was, yeah, I guess he went to media school.
You did.
I mean, hey, we went and did a video talking about how
What's
awesome
funny
our
is they
podcast
hang out
was.
with him all the time, and like they still mess with him right there, and it's just so funny.
He's our dude, man.
Yeah.
I love that kid,
It's
dude.
like the relationship is humorous though, because like he's like, yeah, I get it. Like he's understanding of why like you guys mess
You
with
know
him
what?
about
The
it.
other good thing is that shouts it works to him in the moment. That kid's on the verge of getting some more pussy finally, so good for him.
Ow!
Tyler.
Like, dude, it's been a while for that kid. So. And he just turned 21, so happy birthday to the Lur, right on Halloween. So everybody find Tyler Nobody on fucking everything and tell him happy birthday from that.
Find Tyler Nobody on something. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. And NOHBUDDY. Hit him up.
But,
And 0H.
We never even finished the leaves. So yeah, the leaves. Once you cure the leaf right,
Yes.
you know what I mean. You're getting like a different product out of it. So you're not gonna have all of the chlorophyll, all the starches, all the sugars. And in Gene
Does that
Carlos,
make it hard?
does it make it hard? What do you mean?
Like when it's, yeah.
Oh, no, not necessarily. It depends on when you catch it, right? If you catch it at the right time, then it's going to be like workable, right? But then
Kind of like
you-
any other kind of wrap that you would use.
yeah, exactly. You also don't want to. You also gonna let it cure after you wrap it.
Now, with the use of the cannabis leaf, now, you think of a picture of a cannabis leaf and how thin the leaves look. How thick are these leaves that you're putting together to roll?
Oh, dude, it all depends on the strain, right? So that's something that you want to kind of consider. It's just like what your leaf texture is like, what the
What do y'all do to get to make it roll like that? I mean, like, you guys heat it up beforehand before you what's the process of when you guys go into
Trade secret.
into the leaf.
I'm just curious, man.
No,
Because
no,
I mean, you
no.
mentioned Cuba earlier, man, and they hand roll everything.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I like totally stopped talking about that whole thing here. Is like so what it is so like our philosophy when I started making these can guards, my friend hit me up and I made my first one and I was like, you know, when I smoked cigars, my favorite cigar was a 64 anniversary. I think it's a Padron. And that was a box press cigar.
Those are great cigars.
Yeah. And yeah, they're awesome. Man. Everybody says they're everywhere I went. Right? We'd always ask, what's the best cigar here? And the guys would be like, the Padron 64, right? And it's box press. You'd be like, oh shit, okay. So you know they're like $15 for one of those.
That's decent because
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah. That's generally like a good tier 15, maybe you could spend thousands, but in the normal ones.
So, anyways, I started researching more. That was one of the first cigars, outside of Cuba that was produced, because that wasn't a Cuban cigar, right? We weren't able to smoke Cuban cigars back then.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, that method of cigar making is
That's what sparked you.
yeah, it's just say, hey, I want to box press my can of cigars. I'm gonna make them on a box press them because that's what I like. I like smoking box press cigars. So I looked into box pressing. It's kind of hard to figure stuff out about that, but the method that we use is trunk pressing, and so it's just a method where we built our own custom-made presses, and these are made out of different types of wood. So I'll either use like a sassafras, a sapele mahogany, a Brazilian cherry, or like traditionally it'd be like Spanish cedar. So we use Spanish cedar.
Deep woods.
Never said deep woods, but Spanish cedar is one of the more aromatic woods, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely gives you like a nice smell to what it is. But the other property, the reason we use Spanish cedar is because it has the property of maintaining moisture levels. So that they can ship the cigars long distances, right, and not have them
That's
all
why-
dry out.
That's why your cigar box will smell good.
Yeah, and what
That wooden side.
yeah, what happened is you start smelling the cedar, right? And you're like, oh wow, so all that stuff kind of marries together into this experience of the cigar, right? And so that's why you'll get some wooden undertones sometimes in some of the smoke. If it's pressed in cedar, if it's if all this stuff has been around it, it's gonna mix with the whole flavor of the product. And
Awesome.
with box pressing, they say the second compression, gives it a unique flavor profile. What I didn't know when I first started is that like there's science behind the square shape and the circle.
Well, how did that go about? Because I was going to ask you about how it like is the square. It comes with a certain mouthpiece type deal.
No, so we don't. Ours is straight cannabis. So there's no. So first they're rolled round like a regular cigar, right, and then they're box pressed. So that's the method of box pressing. But
So do you said you roll like cubic. So you like whatever? Do you like roll them on the table and shit? Like
so we hand roll them. So we hand wrap the cigars with leaf. So it's not necessarily the same as tobacco because you don't get a big leaf. You have to kind of
yeah, that's what I was saying. So do you like mend the leaves together?
I not necessarily mend them together, but we just wrap it. Just like I guess.
They
Just-
stick together.
Yeah, I mean we use either an extract or a cigar glue.
Right on.
You know what I mean? So either like some type of sauce or the glue.
Okay.
Just like they would with cigars.
Right.
Which is generally like some kind of pectin or like cornstarch or something that's smokable and just plant based generally.
Something like that.
But with that, so with box pressing, I've chosen all the woods that I think have unique profiles as far as smells. So like sassafras is one of them that we use. So if you guys have heard of sassafras.
The one thing based root beer off of.
Yeah, so it smells kind of like a root beer smell to it.
Fuck with that.
It's actually, there's a lot with that. It's a really weird plant, the sassafras tree.
You trip balls off of it too.
It's a precursor from Molly, yeah. It's what Molly is from, like ecstasy. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things that that plant or that tree has a cool, unique smell. The mahogany, the sapele has a unique smell.
I was doing a spice box on mahogany.
Yeah,
Like wood shop was where you're I fucking love wood shop.
yeah.
I'm a wood guy. I love wood. I love wood. You love wood? I love good wood. Good, rich,
Quality.
scented
Hey,
wood.
my violin smells
Quality wood.
Quality wood. Yeah. I'm a big fan of quality wood.
Definitely.
And then what's the other one? You said cherry.
Brazilian cherry doesn't really have a big scent to it.
I love it. I love Brazil.
It's a super dense, super hard wood. So that one I just use more if I want to like give it less of any other kind of flavor. But you get to really marry all the flavors of the leaf, the oil, the hash, everything. But yeah, so
I find that like that's pretty cool. Now it always kind of like I was kind of always thinking about the whole process of
Yeah,
know
definitely.
what it's about. You know,
That good thing.
and how you do like with the pot and stuff because the pot kind of zero and all that. So pretty cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and so we have to age them. We age everything. So we'll age a lot of the cigars in the press, and that's why it'll marry all that flavor together. And there's a method that we have that we kind of determine what's best for ours on the optimum level. But yeah, it's just we like playing with different things, you know, and figuring out different processes and different there's so many
They're like
aspects of
different
cannabis.
nugs you have to like work with. Is there anything you look for in specific nugs when you're picking the buds you're gonna roll up?
Yeah, that's another thing we do is we don't really grind our flour. So a lot of people grind their flour for their stuff. We don't grind our flour.
How do you do it?
We just keep it in mud form. You know, and we de-stem it. You know, so there's no stems. We don't grind the flour. We don't break it down. We don't powder.
There's a little popcorn nugget.
Yeah, basically just the popcorn nugs.
I like the roll buds.
Yeah,
That's cool.
You ever seen Brother Dabs around at any events? He has some super quality flour I think you would appreciate.
I haven't seen it, no.
So do you look for certain percentages, texture, shit like that? Which one?
No. I'm not. Yeah. I wouldn't do that to you.
Good look, man. I haven't had people do that.
That's not good.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Tell them. I don't know who they are, but fuck them.
Yeah.
Friends.
But yeah, you can have it. If you want. Yeah, you can.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
Um,
yeah. It'll be used, man.
Many
Wood love
times.
tips, dude. I love wood. Good love tips.
there you go.
Hey, dude, for real though, like the glass tip is like where it's at, dude. Like I gotta have it when I smoke my J's, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what Gene Carlos told me is that with glass it's gonna absorb the heat. So he was just saying how when the smoke passes.
So is Gene Carlos like the Godfather of rolling?
Gene Carlos is just man, dude.
He's the man. I like. Oh,
Super humble guy.
shouts to Jean Carlos or Jean Carlos Magar
Yeah,
on Instagram.
Yeah, I gotta follow him.
cool dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Find the art,
And
you
then
know, appreciate the art.
We were talking about a little bit about the buds that you pick. Now, we were talking about you're discriminating your buds for what you're gonna roll, man. What are the key things you look for?
I mean, dude, we're not super super critical on every single
You're not sleeping.
thing as long as it's quality flour, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
But there's just different. You'll notice
You
different
look for
things.
certain THC content, shit like
So
that.
definitely not. I'm not really worried about THC percentages as far as like if it's 30% or
You look at your high
25%.
turf profile,
Just
right?
quality
That's what you
flour,
like.
yeah. And it's like you don't have to have like if you look at like what Gage is doing, like it's just quality. And so
Speaks for itself.
yeah, if you have quality products that you're working with in your start, you're going to end up with quality stuff in the finish. When you're looking at land races like we talked about, with land races, you might not have 30% THC, but you might have a crazy terp profile that you're not going to get on any other.
Anywhere
And
else.
that's going to make you feel a way that you've never felt before. And that's because you've always had THC in everything you smoke. But it's a different, unique experience when you have something that's true to a region. That's not just a mix of everything, right? And so everybody here, we have nice quality flour here. I'm not like talking shit, right? Like hybrid flour is awesome.
Right.
But it's like we also haven't experienced like real Radix sativas for the most part growing really well.
Gotta go out west.
I mean,
Or where?
yeah,
That's far
but
away.
even then, it's like that stuff disappearing. You just have to know people who are doing.
Who are doing it?
Yeah, who are doing
Right.
it, who have a passion, not just to make money, but for weed. There's a guy, Happy Little Trees, who,
I've heard of that.
yeah, John, he does awesome stuff. He does land race stuff like that. And he's just a guy who's just trying to preserve quality stuff.
I respect that shit,
You
bro.
know, and it's like,
You guys were talking a little bit about that earlier.
I respect the buds.
About how, yeah, they're smaller operations.
Because that's where you get all the love from, bro. Like that's how you know it's made with love,
Which
bro.
is
It's
not
made with
all
love.
about money at the bottom line, which is fine for a business. You have to be about money.
Well, yeah, 100%. At the end of the day, but still, it's good to know that if I'm going to put my money into something, it's going to be worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Like the same reason I come back and buy one of these. I've been wanting to get you on my podcast for like 2 months now.
and that's a whole other thing that I've been looking at is like organics versus salts and like the way
That's
things
what
are grown, and not just if it's quality or not. And like that's where we really want to be when this is all said and done. Is we want to be in a place where we're working with strictly like organically grown, super quality flower with awesome genetics, and that's the future of cannabis because you chemicals and all this stuff they're putting in this stuff, it just doesn't produce better product. Number one, you get an inferior product. It's more expensive. It's more harmful to the environment. You know what I mean? It's like everything about it is bad, but the only thing that's good about it is right now there's like an A plus B plus C equals you can make some money guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
And so everybody's just doing this. Like I have a chart on my wall, and I'm just this is it. When in reality, it's like we're arrogant enough to think that we've created a way that plants grow better versus what's been happening for like thousands of years, right? Like literally there's trees that are thousands of years old, right? That nature's kept alive for how long without us coming by and spraying chemicals on it. Yeah. And there's not any plant I can think of that we've kept alive for thousands of years. Like I don't know, we got to sit in a bucket running hydro.
Yeah.
I don't know any, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's gonna fuck up at some point, and we're gonna fail, And so it's like it's an easier way sometimes, it's quicker sometimes, but in reality, once you understand, I think how organics are starting to work, or how they've been working forever, and you understand we really don't know anything, like mycorrhizal fungus, which is like a fungus that has a relationship with like 99% of plants in existence. We barely even knew this existed for the last like 10 years.
It fucking creates that system, bro.
Right. Yeah, and
With the roots and everything. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and it's like,
Benefits, man.
Yeah, we
all
talked
these-
about that on like our very first podcast. we did.
there's all these symbiotic relationships from like bacteria and fungus and plants, because plants can't move. They're in one place. They're rooted, right? But they aren't done. Like they're alive. We all know that plants are alive, right?
Yeah.
So we'd be stupid to think that they don't know how to communicate, right? So they know how to communicate, but they do it in different ways. They don't talk. They like shit, and so like they'll shit into the soil when they're running low on nitrogen, and it just so happens the stuff that they're excreting, the hormones they put out from their root zones, right, are food for bacteria or fungus that. Exactly, but not just any bacteria or fungus, a specific strain of bacteria or fungus that's known to produce nitrogen, right? Because they're low in it, or whatever they need. They can actually. That's why you get. Have you ever heard of an invasive species of plant?
Yeah,
What makes it an invasive species?
it has no known predator.
Not only that, it's like it starts taking over areas.
Everything,
right?
yeah.
It takes stuff over. How does it do that? Right? It's like, what is the science behind it? Well, one of the ways is some of them can actually change the ground, like the pH level or the chemical imbalance of the soil.
Surroundings adapt to it.
Exactly, to
Yeah.
make it
pretty
inhospitable
weird.
for other seeds to start to grow. Right. But it just so happens that the pH level that soil's at is perfect for that plant seed. So all of their plant seeds can grow really rapidly, but over time, all these other plants can't function anymore and die out, and then all of a sudden, it's just fuel of this one plant.
That's what happened to bananas.
And it's
Fucking
like
weed.
all that shit is real, and this is going on. We don't understand it. The best scientists in the world that are doing this stuff only comprehend a small percentage of it. So why do we think that we can take that plant and put it in a room and give it light, water, and food that we make in a bottle and say that it's good? You know what I mean? Like in reality, the best growers right now are putting out soil and organics and creating a living system that the plant gets to choose what it wants.
Dude, it is a lot of work though.
It's
a lot of
it is,
work,
but it
though.
isn't. It is, but it's more work to have to do deep water culture on a building of 500 plants
Oh yeah,
than it is to
definitely.
have to just water everything.
definitely.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
And it's like getting that shit
I know that
set
too.
up. Getting that shit set up is like, yeah, that's more to get it functioning and to understand what's happening. But once you have it set up, then you're like, hey, I'm running water. And the plant is creating its own relationship with all of this stuff because I've inoculated my soil with different bacteria, different fungi, to the point where this plant gets to choose what it wants to eat. And the way it does that is by feeding that bacteria I put in there, and that bacteria knows how to feed that plant back. And so and then the other thing you need, right, is organic matter. You need just shit for all those things that are living to feed on and to live on. And so it's like if you have all these things in the right balance and you get everything, maintained, then it's like the plants end up getting to pick, like, hey, I'm not force fed on a tube to grow up. You know what I mean?
Right.
I get to go to a buffet and pick my meal every night.
Everybody loves
Yeah.
that, right?
And but not only that, but not only
Plants need that too.
but not only do you get to pick your meal, you know what you need off that buffet to be to your genetic potential.
Yeah.
You already know what
Yeah.
you need,
Right,
what
right.
you need, and you can pick any of it as much as you want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Take what
It's
you
like,
need.
let
Stay
them
away from what you don't need.
let them decide what they need.
Right.
Right? We don't know better than they know. They've been growing for how long?
Yeah.
Right?
Makes total sense.
So it's like that's where things need to get to. That's where everything's headed. That's where the best quality product in each market you'll see is growing like that. Green Life Productions in Vegas. Anybody in Vegas would tell you they're one of the best quality flower you can buy at a dispensary. And that's because they're growing their flower the way the flower wants to be grown. And it's like
Right.
it just I don't know. It makes a lot of sense to me. And I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense to me too. And you think about it because it's the same way that you want your food, man.
Yeah.
If you want your food fucking, fuck with.
Grown by Farmer Joe
Right.
or by, what the hell's the company that makes, Monsanto, there you go.
And that's the thing, man, is like we've only had grocery stores for about 100 years, about 110 years. So like I don't know, it was random one day. I was sitting in like a place, I think like a car dealership.
Yeah.
And you know how they have like those old magazines from like 1909 and shit like that? There was a Time magazine from 1909 and there was articles all about like this new idea of grocery stores. And like don't be afraid of packaged food, right? This is how it's gonna be now. They're gonna come in cans and you're gonna be able to get like all this stuff, right? And it's talking about basically before that, like if you ever heard the store Cracker Barrel.
I love Cracker.
Yeah.
What a Cracker Barrel was is like people would go and get bread and it would come in barrels. And they would go to the barrel and they'd get their bread, their crackers out of it, right? And that's how food was handled. It was all in one big bin. And now everybody would go to the general store and they could all dip their hands into these bins and grab their stuff.
Sanitary.
Guys who just pulled like a calf out of some horse's ass or something, and now they're coming
grab some of the
grabbing
crackers.
crackers, and the mom comes in with her newborn and grabs some crackers.
Right.
It's like
Stuff in little baby nuggets.
Yeah.
Fuck up.
so. It's, but it's like also it's crazy if you've ever looked into LSD.
I've looked into it.
It comes. It comes from the surgic acid.
Yeah, ergot, right?
Yeah, which is not really around anymore. The ergotism or whatever.
Yeah.
There was like a whole like.
Grew on wheat.
Yeah,
Rye or
and
something,
it was
right?
on bad bread sources. So
Yeah.
you'd have whole communities of people that would
The
essentially
Salem
go
witch
drinking
trials.
Was that Salem? Yeah.
because
Salem witch
because
trials,
they were that was their only source of food, right? And now it's all tainted with this disease, and they're eating it, and they have to keep eating to stay alive. But if it goes on long enough, you can die from it, right? But it's treatable, yeah. But you go crazy, right? And so it's like all that stuff. That's how it used to be with food, And now everything has changed to this mass agriculture, and this has only been going on for like 100 years, 110 years.
Oh, dude, I know. I'm feeling it already, dude. I'm a fucking like straight product of it. I have diabetes and kidney disease.
Well, if you've ever heard of this guy,
James.
oh, yeah, sorry, I keep
You're
if you there's a guy named Steve Solomon, I think Steve Solomon. I think it's him. He was talking about remineralization of soils and proper nourishment in our food, and about how it's like super interesting stuff, but like people aren't properly nourished because in mass agriculture we're growing for profit, we're not growing for we're growing for yield, right?
Yeah,
we're not growing
right.
for nourishment.
Right.
And so like if you're a farmer and you are gonna yield 10 tons of corn this year, and it costs you $1,000 to yield that corn, and you spend $1,500, right? Because you want to add extra minerals, but you still only get 10 tons of corn.
Right.
Then essentially, in any kind of logical thought, people would say you wasted $500 because you didn't get any more corn, and you spent $500 more than you needed to, right?
Right, I melt it, right.
And so, but really, what's going on
Is you made better quality corn.
yeah, and it's more nutrient dense. It's more quality for people. And you hear about those people in these villages that live 100 years and all this stuff, right? And they eat like
Here's
superfoods.
the Amish.
Yeah,
Those motherfuckers live forever,
so
dog.
the Amish should probably do.
They
Amish
don't
would be good in
get
that.
Amish don't get cancer, dude.
Anything happens in the world, the Amish are just going to be on top.
I ain't never seen
On top of
I
everything, dude.
tell you what, I ain't never met a
Oh,
Amish
how the
guy,
tables have turned.
I'm an Amish guy if the world ends.
Oh yeah.
That's why I want to leave this country.
Yep.
but
He's in charge.
Seriously,
They're getting together, they build
Yeah.
shit. I'll follow whatever book you want me to do, dog.
But
Whatever
I'll
you
marry my
need.
cousin, whatever the fuck.
We're in your world now.
Make some
Yeah.
brothers.
Like,
and
What
the
the
world-
That's my brother over there.
Right, dude. You told me.
You guys have brothers out this way too?
Maybe make me some butter.
All right, so
Fresh butter.
it could be your brother, and he could be your cousin,
Oh, no.
Great.
Yeah, that must be
like
in
your
Ohio.
brother.
why?
right.
No, that's an Illyria thing. No, that's actually my term.
I'm just fucking with
See, you can be cousins and brothers.
Yeah, I
You
love
could have cousins
cheese.
that are brothers, so they can be
Yes.
your
Big
brothers.
cheese. John, you know what I'm talking about, bro. Amish cheese, bro.
Can't say I do.
You know what?
No, sir.
Yeah, somebody back me up, bro. Amish cheese. Dude, you got my back.
Uh,
Fire, bro.
Back to Canada. That's that real farm to table right there.
But no, it's just with cannabis specifically, it being medicine, right? That's
Yeah.
what makes organic so much more important. Is the fact that you're not adding those chemicals to something. You're not adding stuff that we don't really understand the effects of what it's gonna do.
Yeah, because I already ingest enough of that shit. I'm
Right?
daily.
And it's like it's just everything that we know changes every 100 years, right? Every 50 years, and it's totally different than what we know.
Now even more rapidly than ever.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. And so it's like you don't
20
wanna,
years. Just wait.
the
Yeah,
internet,
right, yeah,
every
it's-
second,
Well, think
all
about
the
20
time.
years, and then think about 10 years from now. How much
I'm a medical professional. Bottom line, what I learned in
Oh,
school.
hot bottom mics with
Yeah.
you.
I'm a medical professional myself, and what I've already learned in school, 15 years ago, is already obsolete. And everything when I do continuing education, by the time I'm done with the courses, 6 months later, it's already obsolete, and I have to learn something new.
Yeah.
That's why we have to have so many. All medical professionals have to have so many hours of continuing education every couple of years to renew the licenses because it's constantly changing. When I first became a paramedic till now, CPR itself has already changed.
I was gonna
Eight
say, I
different
remember when
times.
you used to
That's
blow up
why-
people's
That's
faces
why,
and shit.
yeah.
There's new recommendations 8 different times in the last 15 years for just CPR.
So wait, hold
Wait,
on.
are
So
you supposed to?
I learned CPR in 2000.
But it's probably already
It's
Oh,
no
that's
good.
way
It's no
gone.
good.
Yeah, no good.
It's certified.
That was a
dude.
long time
Yeah.
ago.
It expires every 2
You
years.
still blowing people's mouths and shit?
No.
No.
Yeah, I knew
No.
it. I
See,
knew
now
they took
impressions-
it away.
Now the standard for the layperson, for the bystander who comes across somebody is hands only compressions. Just pump on the chest.
Are you
What
supposed
they-
to sing a song?
Well, what they found
Staying alive, yeah.
Yeah.
because it's about 100 beats a minute, so it gives you the appropriate count for
Right.
the chest compression.
Oh man, what happened if we got no rhythm? Oh, that man.
Yeah, we have no rhythm, just pump hard, pump fast.
Pump hard, pump fast.
So what you were saying though is the reason, what they found was a lot of people that even were certified and they knew how to do CPR, they were reluctant to put their lips on a stranger's mouth and blow into it. And they found through studies that doing chest compressions only just to cycle the blood, the average healthy adult has about 10 minutes of stored oxygen on the red blood cells. So as long as you're circulating, you're still getting
into
What
the brain.
kind of
So the brain.
studies, what kind of
Yeah.
studies do they have to do for this?
Kill people.
Crazy.
Nazi studies.
Well, they tried the ones where people go in naturally and whatever.
Oh, then they let them do CPR maybe.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then, but between that time, while the layperson's pushing on the chest, that's when they call 911, and when the medics show up, they can do the advanced airways, do the respiration,
Nice.
intubation and bags and stuff like that. So you're not putting your mouth on somebody
There's
else's
like
mouth.
a pump.
But the
Yeah.
point, either way, the point is though is medical knowledge and medical technology advances so fast that by the time you learn something new, within 3 months, it's already obsolete. You're learning something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Took away my Sandlot moment. Man. I was gonna try to fucking make out with a hot lifeguard. Just whatever.
Hey, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, not everybody is important.
Right? Now kids are gonna grow up and be like, why did she kiss him?
You just don't know.
Blonde who doesn't know CPR.
Listen here, you little shit.
That was CPR when I grew up.
Yeah. And yo, I pull that on, I'm gonna get fucking hit with a lawsuit these days.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's,
No.
that's tough.
That's good Samaritan law.
It's alright.
Where you
Punch
working
in
at?
the face.
Detroit Fire Department EMS division.
Hey, thank you for the service, brother.
And so back to
So
pot.
back to the
Yeah,
nuggetry. So we were talking before we got into
Off on these crazy
a
tangents.
little bit. That happens. I do that a lot.
Well, what's up? What's next?
Oh,
We were talking about how knowing where things come from is important.
Yeah,
and
yeah, with cannabis and the organics, it's just like
Good look,
that's where you want to see things, because then you know that, like, okay, this is how the plant was intended to be grown. It's not got anything in it that the plant didn't want on its own. The concept of flushing the plant isn't necessary, because you're not putting all these salts and all this all these minerals on the plant, so you don't need to flush
beat
them
it
off.
off.
Yeah, you're letting the plant just self-regulate. You know?
right. So it's like putting your
Well, yeah,
it's like putting your plant on steroids.
That's great.
yeah.
And then you gotta fucking cut weight right before the fight.
Yeah, no, that's really what's happening. Is we're feeding these plants so much food, it's all running off into the water and running off into the byproducts and all that. You're wasting the money on nutrients, because half that shit is going down the drain, and then the rest of it is being left behind in these pots, and you're stressing out the root zone of the plant to the point where you have to just feed it just water for a couple days, because you have to literally rinse off all the minerals off the root zone, and then you're gonna go and put a whole bunch more minerals on it that you didn't need to be putting on it anyways.
Does that not make for harsher nugs when people do that?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just like if they aren't properly flushing at the end of it, then yeah, you're gonna have.
You're gonna be able to
terrible
tell.
You're gonna taste the chemicals, and you're gonna know that it was grown up that. And so that's what bad quality weed is, But with organics, you're gonna see, like, because the plant had everything it could want, and you got to choose what it wanted. If it's done right, this is everything if it's done right. And don't get me wrong, you can get awesome products with mineral salts, like really good hydroponically grown flower. You see a lot of guys out there
Right.
that are doing killer shit with
Strong.
yeah, and it's great. It's not like it's bad. They're doing it right. Anything done right is done right.
Right.
But at the end of it, when you compare the best of this and the best of organics, the best of minerals, the best of organics, and it's the same genetics, it's the same flower, it's the same stuff, it's just grown differently. Organics win. They have better flavor. They have better terp profiles. It's like that's my opinion.
So they have some better extracts and stuff too.
well, it's probably a higher oil percentage plant. It's probably going to yield better on your oil. But the other thing is you're going to be able, if you're a company, you're going to be able to sell it for more money.
Yep.
Because it's better. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And the guys who are doing cannabis right now don't understand quality because they don't smoke weed. Like, you know,
Unfortunately.
so they're just like, hey, we can get 1,500 pounds a week if we do it like this. You know, that way it's 1,200 pounds a week.
Ooh.
Well, you know, you're still going to get a lot of
Shake
weed
my head.
and have way better.
That's simple math for any economics major.
Wow.
And so, but it's like when you look at quality and you start to understand where the market wants and what people want, then you can say, okay, well, that stuff that we're going to get all that weed from is only going to sell for this much money, and this stuff's going to sell for 3 times that, and people are going to be coming back for more.
All
Because that's
day.
the other thing, right? Is
You
you
gotta
can get
set the
shitty weed
standard.
everywhere.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, for real.
you can get shitty weed everywhere. You can
We're
only,
being from Ohio, we know.
yeah, you can only
Yes,
get
sir.
good weed from people doing it right. And
Yeah.
So,
Like me or
Fucking
Waldo.
right, yeah.
so
Not me.
yeah. So but that's what I'm saying is, you know, it's just you have to, you know, at least I just think if anybody was doing it on their own and like doing small stuff, at least just compare. Because that's what I did this year. I just ran like some outdoor plants
Right.
and just did organic water only soil.
How those fit out for us.
Awesome. And like
What strange did you get?
just a bunch of different ones. Melon cake, alien banana candy, grape kush.
Wow, those all sound phenomenal.
Did you say alien banana cake?
Alien
Banana
banana
candy.
candy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one sounded my favorite.
And Sunday driver.
Sunday driver was good. You brought
Oh yeah, I bought some of that from the Dab Smiths.
Nice. Yeah. Sunday driver's good. So,
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, it's just one of those things where it was like all I did was water it. I didn't do anything.
Let it grow
I
on
just
its own.
watered it, and I got great yields. It was great flour, but it wasn't so much get out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I had to pull it like October 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still some of it was pretty good. It's,
I know about that. I know about that too, man.
Yeah. But I don't have a greenhouse, so maybe if I could do
Yeah, so greenhouse is obviously the best option, but like, does it matter, like, well, Michigan soil, you know, West Coast, is there any that has proven to be the better of the places to grow?
Oh,
As
Well,
far as the
it's-
natural grow stuff?
oh yeah. I mean, I think Cali does awesome
Is that the best stuff?
outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
But it all depends on like.
I mean, that's
environment.
fine, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But even in Cali, it's all different, right? Like some people have the perfect setup. Like there was this one guy who was talking about how he had like a mountain in his backyard that split the clouds. So like the clouds never hit his property. If it stormed, like everything would go around it.
Wow.
You know, so it's like if you have a situation like that, that's great because that's the problem is if it gets late in the season and it's cold and it's raining on your plants, then you're gonna get mold. And
Yeah.
so that's why I had to cut my stuff down, is because it's like either you let it run and get a little bit more weed, or you just cut it down and get the weed and smoke.
Yeah, no, obviously, got that shit. Good
Yeah.
quality.
Texas is tough because it's so hot, you know what I mean? But you could do it out there. Right? Oh yeah, I mean there's no weed in Mexico, right? That's where all your weed comes from.
Like, you think northern Texas or like southern Texas?
I don't know.
Because I mean, Texas is fucking huge.
I know. It's
Yeah,
like
hey, bro.
you know when you're halfway to Texas, it's Texarkana. Or halfway to San Antonio, it's Texarkana. Yeah. You get to the border of Texas and you're halfway to San Antonio. We drive through 5 states to get halfway there, and the rest of it's all in Texas.
Wow.
We'll probably be making that trek here this spring.
I've
That's
never
good
been
know.
to Texas.
Me neither.
We're gonna try to cover
Never
this.
been to
I want to
Texas?
try to cover
We're
South
definitely about to work with y'all out there.
Austin is pretty cool. San Antonio is an awesome city.
Okay.
I want to try
I
to
don't-
podcast live.
I'm not a big
The whole
fan.
river walk out there in San Antonio.
That's what I'm saying. San Antonio is it's probably the best big city in Texas. In my opinion. Austin's a cool city, but it's not as big. It's still big, but it's not as big. But Austin's really busy.
Heard
Austin
that
has a
about
lot
Houston,
going on. If you want to party though, that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we like to party.
but to live San Antonio, man, I love the like just like the it was like there's really no dangerous spots.
Actually,
really.
when my cousin's like best friends there, like, we grew up with and stuff for a long time. Man, he was out there, so I'm telling you, he was out there and stuff. So.
It's just
It's
chill.
beautiful out there. Man.
Yeah, it's just
How's
chill.
the food out that way?
Oh my
Too
god.
much of that.
So good.
No.
Dude, fast.
The Mexican food
Is
is much better. I'm telling you, Mexican food in Southwest Detroit and Mexican trucks are better than any food you're going to get in South Texas, because everything in Texas has been Tex-Mex.
I don't
It's
know.
all Tex-Mex.
I
It's
don't
not
know,
real
man.
Mexican food. Go to the real Mexican trucks down here in Southwest and Mexican town. 10 times better.
Oh, dude,
I
that's
had
tough.
some bars.
They get it.
I can't say because I haven't been to the Southwest Detroit trucks yet, but I literally had my crave every day Mexican food from Texas.
What are these trucks?
I didn't like it, man. It was too Tex-Mex. It was too
Where were you
Americanized.
at though?
I was
That's some of the
stationed.
Mexican have, right?
I was stationed at Fort St. Houston in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And I was also stationed at Fort Hill
Right off like
in Killeen.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, I believe maybe it was but San Antonio.
But even in San Antonio, man, it was still Tex-Mex.
Texas food.
Only some of them, but if you go down to the valley, it's awesome.
I spent most of my time on the Riverwalk.
Yeah, the Riverwalk is cool. But the Riverwalk's is way more Americanized over
Yeah,
there.
oh yeah.
You know,
Well, I imagine it's probably one of those tourists.
What's the Riverwalk?
it's just you just have to go.
Yeah, we'll find out, buddy.
The
We'll get
Riverwalk,
there.
Riverwalk in San Antonio, you got
We'll
a little
hit a
small river that
Spurs
runs
game.
through, and they got nothing but bars and clubs and restaurants on either side of it, and then you got like gondola rides that go up and down, and then
Yeah,
you can go to you can stop at one point to the end, and then hit a bar, and then just walk on either side, take a gondola ride back up, and it's just bars and clubs on either side of the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
And
That's kinda
it's
cool.
really set up like a gorgeous, like a walkway kind of thing. They've got like real nice architecture, real nice decoration type stuff. You know, I mean, it's beautiful. It really is.
It's the Venice. of
But they really
Texas.
hate cannabis there, though.
Yeah, they
They really don't fuck
Yeah,
with
they
cannabis.
don't
They do not.
Dude,
You know.
wanna hear a
You know,
funny
that's a
story?
beautiful.
Yes.
That's awesome, though. But at the same time, it's like, yo, I
So-
can't smoke weed while I'm doing that.
I'm
Yeah.
in Texas.
I gotta like hide somewhere,
Oh.
smoke some weed, and be like, okay,
Dude,
this is
I-
cool.
You gotta pop it on low,
You
dog.
can smoke weed.
That's fucking good. That sounds fucking awesome.
It is.
Dude, I
It's
definitely
nice.
have to go.
It's really nice. It is nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
So wait, what happened to you in Texas?
No, so my
the
roommate.
big thing about that is San Antonio, that's also
Um,
it's in San Antonio.
I
There's, like,
we were living in
history
Alamo
history
Heights
book.
in San Antonio, so it's like a nice area of San Antonio.
Yeah,
And,
San Antonio. So, like,
we had this-
it's
we had
like
this
a short
apartment,
building
And
surrounded by skyscrapers.
we had like just got a bunch of weed from my dealer, and me and my roommate, and we like put it in our box in our apartment, and it was sitting there. And my roommate, I was gone at night with my friend, and my roommate's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a phone call, and he's from South Carolina, so he moved there from South Carolina. I moved there from Michigan, and we moved each other and getting this place together. And he's like, I'm out. He's in the apartment by himself. Weed on the table. Decides he's gonna go out the window, and there's a covered parking in the back of the apartment complex. So he's gonna go out the window and stand on the roof of this covered parking to make the phone call, right? But then he's like, that's not enough. I want to get on the roof of our building. So he goes and walks across the complex, right? And gets a ladder and starts walking to the front of the complex with this ladder. And somebody calls the cops on him. Of course, so it's Texas.
Why wouldn't
So
they?
they show up like instantly. And he's like getting this ladder onto this back of this roof. And the cops are like, or no, actually stopped in the front of the thing, in the front of the complex. And they're like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, oh, I'm going over here to make a phone call. He's got a ladder in his hand, right? And they're like, a phone call? What do you mean? He's like, well, no, I live in the apartment here. And he's like, I'm calling my friend back home. He's like, sometimes I just like to sit on the roof and chill and like talk on the phone, you know, like when I'm all by myself. And they're all like, what? And they're like, well, you live here? And he's like, yeah. And like, well, all right, if you live here, then like show some proof you live here, right? And he's like, all right. So he goes to the door, and the door's locked. And he's like,
Oh no.
he's like, fuck, I came out the window, right? And then he's like, my doors are locked. He's like, oh, my keys, they're inside the
Right.
apartment. He's like, I came out the window, out the back window when I was coming out the apartment. And they're all like, what?
Oh,
and
finish the story,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, he's like, so I can go back in the window and get my keys. And it's like, and they're all like,
Get the fuck
they're
out
all
of
like,
here.
all right, dude.
I can't go in the back of my pocket to get my cuffs.
Right. They're like, all right, dude, go back in the house, get your keys, but then we have to come in and inspect. You have to show us proof you live here, right? And he's like, all right. So he goes and lets them in, and they come in, and the first thing they see is a box of weed on the table and a 3-foot ball.
Oh,
And then
No.
they think that he lives there, right? And then he tells them, well, hey, man. And they were like, why is it all bagged up like this? And he's like, well, we were thinking about selling weed, but,
Oh,
God,
God.
we haven't sold it yet. You know, I'm like, dude.
With intent to sell.
I'm like,
Damn.
With intent
the dude
to
has just
sell.
bought tickets to
I can just see that.
Australia, and they put him on probation for a year.
Yeah, yeah, going.
Man. Those felony charges.
Shouts to
it
at
was all
Pop
just
Brothers
a
at
shit.
Law. Shut the fuck up.
Right. And I was like, dude, I can't believe you said that. And he's like, just telling me the story on the phone. What? And then like,
I will be like, yo, you guys can, you don't got a warrant, so I'll fucking get you something, show you that.
right. It's just like the worst possible.
yeah, dude, that
Yeah.
shit's.
And I'm like,
He was fucked from the beginning, bro.
walking across with the lab. I'm like, get on the phone. We get on the phone on the roof. Yeah.
That's
I'm
some
not
bullshit.
doing that.
I mean, there's some states that are super. How many states is it still like fucking like a charge for product?
I'm not
Good
sure.
question. Google.
Probably like 30.
Yeah,
It's
I'd
not
say-
Florida no more.
I think most states.
Most
If
states
it's not-
have
if
been
it's not- if it's
decriminalized.
not legal, it's been
That's what I'm
decriminalized.
saying.
So maybe like
I wonder how many
Yeah,
states
maybe.
it is now.
I'm Googling it.
That's usually all them.
Who's less producer Waldo?
Like Texas, I feel like you would ask.
Yeah.
Texas is a fucking shit.
I feel like
Texas
maybe
is
Nebraska.
Or Tennessee. Tennessee.
Yeah, the southern
Where's
states
Tennessee?
really
So,
built up with that shit. Oh yeah.
Georgia.
But you never know though, because all those states are huge on hemp.
Oh
Because
yeah.
they grow tobacco there.
True that. I think they make that a big
No, they're smart because the hemp is a big ass market right
And
now.
that's
It's
like
only
the
going up.
best. That's probably the best area to grow cannabis in our country. Is where we grow tobacco.
Yeah.
But they're so stuck in that way, man.
Yeah. I mean, if it grows the best tobacco, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean, big sell and good tomatoes, right?
If you're doing it good, man, don't stop.
Isn't that
How
a
many
fucking
do you think?
comparison? I'm gonna guess.
So we have
13.
26 states that are weed friendly, decriminalized. 11 of them are legal recreationally.
Yeah, that is the majority.
So 24 are still criminal.
See, we need to turn that frown upside down. Come on, states, get it.
Yeah, right though, man. We gotta start pushing this thing, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's all those fucking states all through the rest of the Midwest. Indiana's a motherfucker. You don't want to get popped there.
It
That's
takes
right.
educating people on what it really does. You know what I mean? And it's like once you get to people like the little kids who had seizures, and they stop having seizures, you can't argue with that.
Right.
You can't argue with
Oh, no,
people
I
that
have-
did not
I think
have
it
Dude,
just
no.
direction.
I literally, like, people that come to me for that kind of stuff, some people come to me for them reasons.
Yeah.
So how could I tell them no?
Yeah.
How could I be like, no, I can't do that?
100%.
Because people were like, yo, thank you, man, because that literally fucking helps me. And it's like, I understand. Like, I know people that have seizures and all that shit, that helps them stop and everything, So, not only that, but people with chronic pain and stuff, that helps better than
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
other
but
bullshit,
on top of that, we can be 100% right and say like some people just like smoking weed. I just like smoking.
Oh,
weed.
yeah.
all day.
That's why it's wrecking a lot of
But
places.
once you start getting to people like the National Cancer, what is it? You're a medical guy. What's the group that does all the cancer stuff? The National Cancer.
Yeah, National Cancer Society.
National Cancer Society. Yeah, they've done studies on cannabinoids and cancer, and not just like does it help cancer, but how the
They-
metabolic processes.
They still haven't found any kind of link to the claims that it in any way cures cancer, but it
Yeah.
definitely helps alleviate symptoms.
And that's the thing is that like there's real like effects of how it attacks and does different things and like he says like alleviates the symptoms of other things. That's another byproduct of it. But even like the metabolic processes that are happening and what's going on in our bloodstream and how these things interact with each other and what they do, they're starting to research that stuff. And as that information comes out, and there's real, like, nationally recognized groups and people who have respect that are starting to say things that maybe weren't said before, that's when you're going to start seeing, like, regular people, you know? It's like, my parents never smoked weed, you know, they never did any of that. But they're also, like, they're also now at the point where they aren't against weed either. You know, like they understand where it serves its purpose for people and how it could help in certain things.
Sure.
And it's like you understand, like our parents. I don't know about your guys, but my parents are in their 60s, right? And so it's like when that generation is starting to see that, like, hey, this is all like maybe this is actually helping people, right?
They never
The
thought this shit was
majority of
gonna
the
happen.
world is starting to see that kind of
Right.
stuff. You know, so that's all changing. You know, it's not.
It's
like
a new
it was.
era.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally a new
So
era.
that's gonna, you know, all that stuff's gonna change, but we gotta figure out what's really happening with people and how it all works. You know.
I like to just keep us at the forefront of pushing for, you know,
Yeah, and shout out-
federally.
Shout out to the National Cannabis Fest in DC and everything too. Like we're definitely gonna be reaching out to them because that's something big and that's like right fucking in our capital. You
Yeah.
know, so that's definitely gonna influence a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We want to be a part of that this year. You know.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get that federally moving.
Shout out to Phone Homie because he really like
Oh,
he's one of the
pushing, man.
leaders
He
out there,
pushes.
man. He's a fucking
Yeah, the dude, man.
that's the OG right there, man. For real.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like, we definitely want to be on the forefront of everything, though, too, going with him, because we feel like Ohio fucking needs that shit. Ohio is so behind. It's so behind, like, it's like, if you just fucking, if you at least legalized it to some extent, then, like, people would see the
Well, they have,
benefits.
haven't they?
Yeah.
There's only
it's a
very
gray area.
limited producers though, right? In the state. Four, yeah.
They're not,
they're doing it right.
They're stupid.
You know, some of these states,
Right.
I think the best legal market right now, and I know it's not like perfect or anything, but doing the best for like educational stuff is Las Vegas. And because they require that, like they report terpenes and cannabinoids on every strain that's tested. What you were saying when you go into a provisioning center or a dispensary in Vegas, and you say what's your best indica, right? They're gonna lay out 10 different kinds of flower that all look fire, right?
Right.
And this one is going to have 3 milligrams of myrcene per gram. This one's going to have 4. This one's going to have 6. This one's going to have 8. This one's going to have 12, right? So now you can say that this 12 milligram per gram of myrcene is going to be the strongest in this one effect, right? So now you can kind of vary your thing, and they're going to be able to tell you, like, hey, if you don't have at least 4 milligrams per gram, then you're not actually going to feel it, right?
That makes
So
sense.
if you're only getting a half a milligram in someone's weed and there's no terps there, then all you're really feeling is the THC.
Right, so that's why you could go to one of those dispensaries out in California, tourist dispensaries.
Yeah,
And you catch some shit together about this most phenomenal and they burn down your legs.
there's no
Where's
terps
the
left.
light?
Yeah, there's nothing left on it.
Right.
And that's because,
I got a legit question for that one you're thinking.
yeah,
So, with the impending legalization of weed everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, for example, like you were just what made me think of it, you were talking about like basically you're talking about like an ingredients list on the weed.
Yeah.
You know, something like on a food or whatever.
yeah,
Now, so say things like beer and liquor, they don't have the ingredients list because they're regulated by the ATF,
yeah,
Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, instead of the FDA. So they're not required to put calorie count, ingredients,
Exactly,
and everything else.
yeah.
Now, when weed becomes fully initiated and society takes it over, obviously it's going to be government regulated, taxed, the whole other bullshit, everything else that the government does.
definitely.
Where do you think it should fall under that category? Under the ATF where it's less regulated, where you don't have to know as much as what's in it, or do you think it should fall under the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, where you have to list all the side effects, all the ingredients, all the list, like everything about it?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. And it's like, this is what's insane, right? It's like, I'm going to try not to rant, too, because there's like a lot in there. But the government, the way they're treating, at least in Michigan right now, is like super crazy. Like the way everything's going on is we have a limited number of testing labs that are commercially licensed to test stuff. I don't know what type of regulations they go through, if they're weekly swabbed for microbials, or if the state's coming through with certifications on these guys, or how they're testing, but that's where it all starts, is like what you're saying is we need to have quality testing, number one. So we need to be testing, and we need to have faith in the people testing our product, that it's being, like, not contaminated.
Right, because in the first 2 months when Michigan legalized it, this past year, they had a big thing where they were finding tons of stuff that wasn't tested for and it wasn't found for or regulated against or anything like that. And the other problem they were saying was the edibles, is because there's no control method of dosage.
Yeah.
So if they
Same
say
thing
25
happened in
milligrams,
California.
25 milligrams in one dispensary is not the same as 25 milligrams in another dispensary. It's just basically how much weed you just toss in the batch.
Yeah, or if you're running distillate or whatever you're doing, you can
Right.
gauge stuff better. But it's like, it's all different, right? So it's like, but either way, all that stuff's true. And so it's like, we want to have products that are safe to consume, that people know what they're consuming, right? That's number one. People should know what they're consuming. But I also don't think that we should have the regulations that are necessarily at the level of what they're at for cannabis, to the point of they're treating it like it's dangerous, right? They're treating cannabis like it's dangerous, and they're selling tobacco to 18-year-olds. And it's like, we already have facts that say this stuff right here kills people, and kills more people each year than any of these other things. But we're treating this thing over here that we see medical benefits for. Like, literally, there's proven medical benefits, and we're treating it like it's more dangerous than these things.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if I remember correctly, by federal law, not by state laws, but by federal, marijuana is still classified as a class 1 narcotic.
Yeah.
That's Schedule
Which is,
1.
No,
which basically
None.
is saying that it's more dangerous than cocaine, which is a Schedule 2
Two,
narcotic.
two.
Yeah.
And so I
It's
believe,
on the same one as
I believe
heroin, fentanyl.
is heroin number 2.
Yeah, heroin's
Is
number
it-
one.
Heroin's in Schedule
I'll tell
1.
you.
What is it? It's
Heroin itself is a Schedule 1, but opiates themselves are 2, because you got morphine and codeine and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Well,
the
heroin
controlled
itself is a Schedule
narcotics.
1.
That's
But
why.
the controlled ones like morphine and codeine and stuff like that, those are Schedule 2. So they're basically saying marijuana is still more dangerous and with no less medical benefits than methamphetamine, cocaine,
Yeah, it's-
Schedule 2 narcotic,
You're telling me
opiates.
you're better off smoking meth than marijuana? Like, I've seen people.
Or it's
I'm not
equivalent.
tweaking
Or
off
it's
my herb, I'm
equivalent.
telling you that.
Yeah.
At bare minimum, they're saying it's
They're saying it's a level 1. meth
oh,
is
that's
level
right.
2.
Meth
I
is
think
Schedule
to your
2.
question about the ATF or FDA thing, I think it also depends on if it's we're talking medical or recreational. If you're talking
Exactly.
people using it medically, then yeah, FDA. If you're talking about people going recreational, then ATF. Yeah.
And this is where
That's a very
this is
fair
where I
point.
think
That makes
things
my
are
That's where
me
things are
happy.
gonna get dicey
and
and
it's
gray
not going to
because
happen like you
because federal
Right,
agencies do not like to talk to each other.
said. Yeah.
They don't like to share information. They don't like to split glory and everything else. We were just watching a documentary on Al Capone, how they caught him, and it was a big deal between, the IRS and the Treasury Agency because they didn't want to split the glory. And it's going to be the same thing between FDA and
ATF.
ATF.
and all that.
They're not going to want to. They're not going to want to share.
Well,
share the wealth.
So yeah, and so, but I mean, necessarily they could if they do separate them completely, but in most states right now, everything is blended. There's some states like Colorado where when you go into the dispensary, there's a medical side, there's a recreational side, they're separated.
That's what I'm saying. If they ever did make it, federally legal medically, the FDA should probably be the one to
Yeah,
take care of it.
yeah, for sure. And with that, medically, it has to be reported. We have to know everything. We have to know what's inside of it.
That's imperative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like literally. And there's a guy named Jeremy Proof who's doing awesome shit, and he's in a place that's in a medical grade chambered facility in Oregon that has 7,000 square feet of canopy space that they're reproducing chemo bars. So what most people are talking about is like a strain, but strains really don't mean anything because when you have a strain, it's like that's a name. Right? Nobody can give me a name. What really matters is the chemo bar or the chemical makeup of that plant. What chemically is that plant? Is it 25% THC? Is it 10%? 10 milligrams of myrcene? Is it this? What's inside of it, right? And can it be replicated consistently, right? That's where pharmaceuticals at.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical, when you get 1,000 milligram vitamin,
It's the same thing every time.
right? And so this guy out in Oregon, they're
It's
actually
good every time.
growing and reproducing chemo bars
That's
of
sweet.
specific strains on a consistent basis to the point where it's the same percentages they're pulling, the
Where's
same
this?
dosage of proof
In Oregon.
Jeremy Plum, proof cultivation. That's what it is. But that place, that's like kind of where everything's headed on the medical side. Is isolating terpenes, isolating flavonoids, isolating the other compounds in the weed, not just THC. Right? For years, everything's been bred on what's your THC percentage, but now we're starting to see like THCV, the variant, right, is something they found, and that is actually going to suppress your appetite, right? So it's going to do the opposite of what, and it's non-psychoactive, I believe. So it's going to be, or less psychoactive or something, but it's going to suppress your appetite, and it's going to do different things to you than what THC is going to do, right? And it's going to give you like the opposite of what you would consider like most people who smoke weed are going to eat.
Why for the first time I've ever heard of THCA.
Yeah, that's what the diamonds are.
Yeah,
So that's literally what a diamond is THCA. It's in that form. It hasn't been decarboxylated.
what's THCD?
Yeah.
Wow.
Delta 9.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, it's like all these different things. How do they interact with us? How do they medically affect us, right? In our bodies. And then we can start to say this actual chemical profile could treat this disease this way, right? And once we can start to isolate what's all inside this stuff and how that stuff can affect people's health and what it does to their bodies, then we can start to see the full potential of what's going on.
Specifically grow certain
Yeah.
strains of marijuana
For that
plants
issue.
specifically for that to have higher concentrations of
Yeah.
A and lower concentrations of B,
Yeah.
and vice
And
versa.
this-
So on and
this
so
one-
on.
Brother Dabs is working on that.
That would be so
Yeah.
critical in chemo care. I'm going through chemotherapy myself right now, and I can't seem to find an exact strain of anything that actually works right.
And then if you did,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
if you went to the store and you
Further up.
found that strain, and you're like, this is my magic strain, this is the one that does it for me, and then you go to another store and you go buy it, is it the same? You don't know, it's never the same, right?
Yeah.
And so there's no
We noticed
consistency.
a lot. I noticed a lot of that at the club.
Well, that's what it-
pointed out to me.
but
Like,
it's not-
this cake is so, there was one that one stand was hawking, and he was like, "Dude, no, you got to get it from Landrace, India."
Yeah, you see this, right? This is that's gauge.
Beautiful.
So it's like when you have flour like this, it's wedding cake.
I'm going to take a picture.
Yeah, somebody can fuck up wedding cake, right? And it's still wedding cake.
You want to
You
go?
should
That's the
know
weight
that.
tag, bro.
And is it as medically potent for you? You know,
Right.
and something
What
about
strain is it?
this is wedding
Wedding
cake. Something about their stuff specifically, and it's something that I noticed with organic stuff, is that my friend, one of the guys that works with us, he has asthma. So when he smokes, he has to use an inhaler.
Yeah.
Right? It's like every time he smokes, he has to use an inhaler. But when we smoke their stuff, he doesn't need it.
So
And there's even times when we smoke their stuff and he breathes better after he smokes their
clears them
weed
out.
than before because it's a bronchodilator.
Yeah.
And there's proven facts that there's certain
And
cannabis
now lung getting.
that are actual bronchodilators.
Get it, Mike.
Right, but the important
Right.
distinction is the important distinction, and what I said earlier about alleviating symptoms of kidney disease. He still has asthma. and it's never going to go away.
Yeah,
It's just alleviating his symptoms as a bronchodilator, but it's not curing his asthma.
Not at all.
It's like
Yeah,
me, dude. I
it's like-
still have anxiety constantly.
Right, but
Could
it's
just see me-
alleviating
right.
the symptom.
Yeah,
It's
could just
like-
see me have a full-on panic attack.
And that's what I think
a
a lot of the problems are coming from is you've got a lot of the, basically like same thing with anything else. You've got a far left and a far right, and the far left are trying to claim that weed is the magic cure all of everything everything that ails humans. It can cure everything.
So when
and there's so much argument against it, and it's like when in reality it's like, okay, it's somewhere down the middle where it's not really curing anything that we know of
Yeah,
yet.
help all.
so
That
this
we
is-
know of yet. We're
this
still
is-
studying, obviously, and
I'll get you through
when the
all.
evidence comes out and the science comes out and they prove things, that's one thing. But as of this moment, it's helping alleviate symptoms of things, but it's not curing the actual underlying disease itself.
So according, I forget the doctor's name, but I was listening to this podcast with the doctor talking about how in oncology, right, and with the cancer side, the thing I was talking about is they found this is recent stuff, but they found targeted metabolic processes of how THC and certain cannabinoids are interacting with cancer cells, right, and interrupting some of the processes through what cancer's doing. Now he's made it clear, like you're saying, like this is not the only cure for cancer or the cure for all cancer, right? It's like you have a tool belt of tools, right? Chemo is
Right.
one of these tools. Radiation is one of these tools. Weed and cannabinoids are one of these tools. And it's like we would be ignorant or stupid to ignore, like if chemotherapy was the best option for the patient, but I want to give her radiation, it's like I would be stupid to do something that's more extreme when there's a better thing that's better for her that would maybe give her better quality of life and is going to treat it even better, maybe, right? Or work things together and use them as
Correct.
as a coinciding treatment.
Right. At a coefficient effects of everything else. But
Yeah.
again, at this moment, this exact moment, this day and time, right now, there's no solid proof that
No.
it's curing anything.
No,
It's just
and-
treating
and-
symptoms and making you feel better while you're going
Alleviating
through
the symptoms.
traditional
Yeah.
treatment.
And even,
Correct.
Even if you look at like Rick Simpson, right? And if you're familiar with Rick Simpson, RSO,
yeah.
right? So Rick Simpson's oil. He had melanoma, and he treated topically with Rick Simpson's oil, and he cured his stage 4 melanoma. But they don't have any, like you're saying, peer-reviewed, right? Real
No
medical
empirical-
studies. There's one person that they cured, they say. She was 14, but she died from complications of her surgeries for other things a week after they said she was in remission. So there was really that's not a win. You know,
Right.
she passed away. You know what I
But
mean?
see, that's the
Yeah.
difference. There is a major difference between a remission and a cure.
Yeah.
When you have cancer, as of right now, there is no medical stated proof that there is actually a cure. So you are always in remission.
Yeah.
You can be in remission 10, 15 years. Somehow or another, it can actually come back. So you are never truly cured.
100%. Yeah.
But there are things that can actually make you go into remission for longer.
And this
Keep
is
those symptoms at bay.
Yeah, and this is another thing that's interesting. It's just like our endocannabinoid system, right? And we have one. And weed's only been illegal in hemp. You know, hemp is really one of the big things with CBD, right? Hemp has been a food source for people for thousands of years. We've eaten hemp seed because it's high in protein and it's got great nutritional value.
Food source, fiber
Yeah,
source,
fiber source, a whole bunch
paper,
of stuff.
rope.
Yeah.
Our bodies
Clothing,
also
everything.
make
That's
a
only-
cannabinoid itself, anandamide, in our
In our brain.
endocannabinoid system.
Yeah, and we have this system in our body that
Meant to
should be
adjust it.
interacting with this stuff.
Right.
We're made to interact with it. I'm not encouraging everybody to go out and get high and smoke weed, but I'm saying like there's
I
like
will.
even if it's even if it's CBD, I don't think weed's for everyone, right? I
Right.
think weed is for certain people, and some people should maybe smoke all the time. Some people.
Oh, I
should
feel the
smoke,
same way.
You know,
I definitely.
But on the same aspect, to play devil's advocate, the human body also has specific receptors for things like nicotine, opiates, and
But
caffeine.
there's a purpose
And
for
I like
all
all
of it.
of those.
There's an
There's a
absolute
purpose
purpose
for
for all
all
of
of
it,
it.
but that doesn't mean we should be,
Shit, yeah.
you know, we
Shit,
should
yeah.
be interacting with all those on a regular, constant basis.
And that's
at
what
the
I'm
same
saying.
time.
I'm not encouraging like abuse, right? But I'm saying like CBD. If you were to ingest CBD on a daily basis, there's no in high mass quantities. There's no negative side effects to it, right? It's only going to do. It's not going to give you any psychoactive effects. It's going to maybe help reduce inflammation in certain things.
Super
right?
oxidize your blood.
Yeah, it's going to do beneficial things for you, but no negative things to you, right? None of they've found. And so it's like.
That's the key word.
Yeah,
Now that they found
and like
it.
I said, every 100 years things change, right? But what my point is only for the last 80 years, 90 years since the 30s has weed been illegal, has hemp been illegal.
And before that, it was in like almost every one of our medicines.
Yeah, in everything.
Well,
And-
I mean, if that's your argument,
That's true.
The same case, the doctors used to think you had ghosts in your blood, you should do cocaine.
Right.
And heroin.
no.
Made by man.
Oh,
Heroin was
The
invented by man.
doctor makes a house visit. I think you got cocaine, or I think you got ghosts in your blood. You should do cocaine about it.
Hey, yeah, let's do it.
I'm a soup
You know,
bayer. All
doctors
my rehab bills.
up until I think it was the 70s, they prescribed cigarettes.
Right.
For
And
anxiety,
like you're
and
saying.
many other ailments.
That goes back
Cigarettes
to-
are actually
Prohibition,
prescribed by
you
doctors.
could get prescribed whiskey.
That goes
Yeah.
back to knowledge constantly
But again,
progressing.
and that's just the thing,
And
though,
there-
because
and
there's been no consistent studies of marijuana because of the negative stigmas of it. We still don't know what it can and cannot
And
do, or what
now
the negative effects
this
it could
is-
possibly
we
have.
can't do
That's why we're having
studies.
more and more
This
modern
is the thing, though.
studies.
There's
Right, we're
There
adding them now,
needs
but
to be
how
more
long did
But
it
we
take?
can't do them
This is
because
fucking
it's
law.
scheduled
This is
to
the
Schedule
thing, though.
1.
There's more documented medical studies on cannabis by the U.S. government than there is on aspen. There's more paperwork done. The patent for CBD, the patent for THC is owned by the federal government. They know what this stuff does.
But
They
that's
they
just
have
it.
it listed as a neuroprotectant. They have THC listed as a neuroprotectant, and it's like this is listed by the federal government
As
they
a
know-
neuroprotectant as in how?
as it
in like,
helps rebuild nerves.
as in demyelination and things
Yeah.
like, say, like Parkinson's and
Yeah,
whatnot?
it helps rebuild nerves. It helps recoat the coating on the nerves of people in their brain and their cells. And so it's like this stuff is proven and it's known and it's just kept from us. And so it's like that's happened because of, and not in my opinion because of medical things. It's happened because when this stuff started in the 30s, there was no penicillin. There was no medical industry. There was no pharmaceuticals, right? That didn't happen until World War II. And we're talking about the 30s when the big business was cotton and textiles. And that's what hemp did. Hemp is a better source of fiber and paper than what trees are and what cotton was. And those businesses didn't want to see hemp thrive, right? So they said, hey, let's make this stuff illegal. Let's petition the government. They had their money put into it. And look at Michigan. You know, Saginaw was built by lumber barons. You know, we've had forests that are very few of our forests are still old growth forests because everything was harvested and turned into paper back in the 1800s. And that's the money in the early 1900s that was still trying to survive. That was still trying to continue on when all the world is changing and everything's going on. They're saying we want to lock in our place right now, just like you look at our electricity and how our grids run. And that stuff happened in the 1800s, and they called Tesla crazy, and he invented all of it. And the same poles and wires that you see out there were invented in the 1830s, 1850s. And like this is the same shit. We just made small innovations to improve what that guy invented, you know? And so it's like, we do that because every single month, billions of dollars are paid to electric bills.
Well, it's all about it. And that's exactly it. It's all about the greed of the first guy. He's making a fortune on the way things are.
Yeah,
And something better comes along.
Build upon
Something
it,
better comes along. He's gonna lose money. Oh well, we
You gotta
can't go
shut that
way.
out,
You
dude.
gotta shut that down.
Real
And
quick.
Which is why things like
It's the reason why my podcast isn't super famous yet. Fucking Joe Rogan in
Yeah.
the way, god damn it.
Hey, Joe Rogan's doing a pretty
He's
good
just
podcast.
fucking
We
fan.
love
Yeah.
Joe Rogan.
He's
We
doing a great
love
podcast.
him.
He's doing a great
He's
podcast.
a fucking
We're
real.
saying things like why
He's my goal.
they still push, why we still have lobbyists in Washington pushing for coal energy, because there's so many people are making money on coal energy and fossil fuels that the newer stuff that's come along is better. They're going to run them out of business. So they're spending billions of dollars a year to lobby to say this is bad. And that's exactly what you were saying. Like, and I remember reading about that. That's exactly what they were saying. Why we became illegal in the first place is because of the textile business.
Yeah.
People that were making paper and
Clothing,
rope and
material, all
clothing and other stuff. They didn't want to lose money, so they made this whole campaign. They made this whole campaign that weed was bad.
Yeah.
And that's why it became illegal. in the
Reefer
first place.
madness.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, this is the thing. And so it's like a lot of this stuff is known. We know the medical benefits of a lot of the things. It's not trying to be out here saying this is a cure-all for everything, right? For sure, like you're saying. There is real medical issues in the world. You know, like I was born, I had heart surgery when I was 10 days old, right? So I had coarctation aorta. And so weed was not going to fix me. You know what I mean? Like I had a narrowing in a valve, so they had to do surgery to replace a piece of my vein. You know what I mean? It's like, with that, I'm in a place where, like, if I was born in the 1800s, I'd be dead at 10 days old, right? And so it's like the whole point of existence right now. I was born in the 80s, so that's probably the first time that shit was happening. You know what I mean? In the 70s and 80s, they were doing surgeries on babies in the 50s and 40s, you know? If they were, that was probably not successful. You know,
That was a little scary in that time.
They didn't start open heart
That's where
surgery
those
until
studies come from. They
mid-50s.
just
Yeah.
they pick the ones and they go for it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, so that kind of stuff, it's like we're living in a time when all this stuff it's crazy. You know, we're living where things are happening that can never happen before. And but we need to know what's going into our bodies for medical purposes, for sure. We need to know how it's going to affect us. On recreational thing, I'm also more of a libertarian where I think that, you know, let me do what I want. As long as I'm not affecting someone else, I should be able to do what I want. I think it's crazy. I could grow a field of poison oak in my backyard, and if someone was allergic enough, fell into my field, would probably die, right? But if I grew a field of weed, if I want to spend the time and effort to harvest an acre, 10 acres of poison oak, that's legal.
Right.
Right? But why can't I grow 10 acres of weed if I wanted to? If I wanted to put the time and money into it? You know, why should that be illegal? What
That's
harm
America,
is there?
baby. That's the world, though, too. That's America.
It's the same reason why everything else is legal,
You
like
can make
prostitution and everything else, because they haven't figured out how to
Tax
regulate
it.
and tax it.
You can make money from it.
You can
Anything
make money
that
from
you can make money
You can't
from
make money from poison
is
oak.
not. Is
You can
not
make money
okay.
from
And so if you put your time and effort, and that's crazy.
It's figuring out how to
You
tax
know,
people's
I
vices.
know,
No.
but we're supposed to, you know. And so
No,
it's like it's free if you pay. So it's just
It's free if you're
Exactly.
rich.
yeah, if you pay for
Wow.
it, you know. And so it's just one of those things where we should have the freedom to do what we want to do as long as we're not infringing on other people's rights.
Correct.
And so that's where I think that recreationally, we should still be informed what's in it. If someone's spraying microbutol over their weed, I'm not going to buy that shit.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to buy it and inhale cyanide.
Yeah.
But if someone wanted to grow it
Do
and
it.
have that in their yard and smell the flowers every year, like they grow their roses and they spray,
Yeah.
spray, go for it. I don't care. It shouldn't be illegal for you to spray stuff on your stuff.
No, I agree. I agree
If no one's
with
gonna
you.
smoke it, go for it.
Yeah, I agree
If
with
you
you
want to smoke it
100%.
and get cancer
But
on your
I
own,
was
go
gonna
for
say,
it.
but
You know?
if it is going out to the public, yeah, I think it shouldn't be anything
And they should
looked
be
at.
tested and you should be
They
known.
should, yeah, because people have rights.
It's
to
like
know
Brother
what they're
Dad
doing.
said, just tush him.
But
Yeah.
anybody smoking cigarettes, I don't smoke cigarettes, but if anybody who smokes cigarettes, they're all smoking which one? They're all smoking microbutanol or some kind of fungicide.
They're smoking over. I think the last study they did, there's still over 1,000 unidentified carcinogens and
Right, unidentified. That's what I'm saying.
unidentified chemicals and molecules that they still don't know what
The
you're
smartest
what you're still
people
putting
in
in
the
there.
world don't know what's going on in our world. They have no idea. There's how many unidentified things are there? How many unidentified species of microbes are there? You know, it's like how much.
We have no idea.
Yeah, we have no
And
idea
there's
what's
new
going
ones
on.
created every second.
We know more about outer space than we do about our own oceans.
Yeah, it's insane, man, and it's one of those things where here, like with weed, with the thing that upsets me about the state is they treat the people who are growing medical weed right now like criminals. putting them through stiffer regulations that I know.
Hasn't it always been like that though?
Right, but no, they're paying taxes and issuing licenses to real business people, the people who are good people who are trying to help, and they're treating them like they're criminals, and then they're treating them like they're creating something that's unsafe and dangerous to the community, all the while selling tobacco to 18-year-olds that literally they know it says will give them cancer, and then they tell you that they're super concerned about you for your health.
It's
Because
21.
of weed. You know, and it's like, dude, we know you don't care about our health. We know you care about money.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
It's like, so just don't lie to us. You know what I mean?
Why you being a hypocrite, bro?
It comes down, and that all it boils down to is how much money does the tobacco industry have
Well, what they've
to spend on lobbyists.
There it is.
They've already done it.
That's all about
They've done it at a time in the 1800s, in the early 1900s, when they already had.
It was easy.
They get to test their own products and tell you what's inside their own stuff.
Mhm.
It's self-regulated for them. They get to do it within their own company.
For them good third-party tests done.
It's like that kind of stuff. I'm not advocating for it, but I'm just saying it's insane. And they're letting that go on all the while, like treating everybody growing weed like you guys are creating poison that's gonna, ruin the world. And it's like it's crazy. It's just that's the one thing where they don't understand yet. Once people in the
Well,
government.
it's not that it's not. That's where I disagree. I don't think it's not that they don't understand. I think they understand perfectly clear. I think it's that they're not seeing the dollar signs for it yet, and they're still seeing the dollar signs and everything else.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
The
I guarantee you they understand. Yeah, I
Just
guarantee
like
you they
how
understand.
now, the whole decriminalization thing. Well, it's because they went, well, you know what, we can just throw everybody a $200 ticket.
Well, think about
and
it.
more people will just go pay
Think
that.
about it. The United States has the number one population. We're number one in the entire world for the population of our own citizens incarcerated. Many of them are for fucking marijuana and weed convictions. Okay, and most of our prisons nowadays are private-run entities. They're private prisons. They're for-profit prisons. The more prisoners that they have, the more money that these private owners are making.
That's a whole nother thing.
Oh, that's a whole different thing. But it does all play part and partial to what the weed stigma is.
Yeah.
It's a different argument and it's a different debate. But it still plays a big part on why weed's illegal and it stays illegal, and why there's such a big pushback against it is because there's so many people that tend to lose money on the complete legalization of it.
Yeah.
Federal
Well,
money coming in is
well,
still outweighing the amount that they can make taxing. That's what
They're
it
never
comes down
gonna-
to.
They're never going to let us just abrogate and just be free weed. Do what you want.
Well,
No regulations, just grow weed.
Nothing's going to be that way. We're not. It's illegal to collect our own rainwater.
Yeah.
It's illegal to collect rainwater.
You can't change. Some places you can't build fence in front of your house. You know what I mean? It's like there's a whole lot of things.
Yes, that's how it goes.
But yeah. So it's just that kind of stuff is what it is. But I'm hoping that as we start to look at things, the problem with Michigan, I think, is they haven't really done a good job of looking at other states doing it good and imitating it. They've decided we're going to make all the same fucking mistakes everybody makes, and let's fuck this up just like how we're going to do it on our own. And they've gone through all this stuff that all the other states did when they started, all the ones that started already. They've all made the same mistakes, and Michigan decided to make them too, and is continuing to do it. And it's like, that's the bad thing. But in time, it's all going to get better. They're going to start to understand the market, understand what this stuff is, understand what it does.
Trial and error.
Yeah. How much time we at? Yo,
We're at 2:13.
right on, man. I will. Let's wrap this motherfucking thing up. Hey, John, my dude. Yo, can you take on some peace and harmony for me, dude?
That is better.
Yeah, man. We're gonna fucking bump some shit.
Ooh.
And that was a good time. By the way, popping in over there. We got did you already plug yourself? Let everybody know who you were?
Yeah.
Oh, not you, John. Your cousin.
Oh, he left. Yeah, he walked out of the room already,
Hey,
man.
you're not always the star.
Boom, gone.
All right.
Get him, James.
That's
That's good.
Jason Cornell, Detroit EMS, holding it down, doing super fucking human fucking work every goddamn day. Keeping the cities fucking safe.
That's That's right, man.
Woo!
313 keeping these motherfuckers alive out here, man. All you junkies that need that Narcan, you know, you come and save your ass real quick.
Yo, didn't Ronnie play fucking Bradley's guitar? Did he play this on
Yes,
Bradley's
I like
guitar?
just heard all that like after. Yeah, I was actually Travis played guitar but with string, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so this is some peace and harmony by our boys Audie Campfire out of Austin, Texas, right here. One of my favorite jams by these
Smoke
guys.
Flower, baby, Reggae 360. Military Foundation, Blue Avenue Music Group, we love you. Audie Empire, the Empire. Stay positive. Love your fucking life.
That's right, mate. And then, of course, Waldo, our producer, my dude, thank you for coming out and doing everything with us tonight.
Dude, happy to be here, man. My pleasure.
You ready to keep smoking, keep burning, partying down tonight?
Absolutely.
Wrap this shit up, do it again tomorrow, you already know.
Yes, sir.
I tell people they can find you, my dude.
You guys can find me on Instagram at Party with Waldo or on Facebook at Waldo Where Is.
Boom, there it is. You hit him up, he'll be the one answering you on the wake and bake. And then, of course, man, we got the man, the legend, the Don Cooch.
Hell yeah.
My dude, thanks for coming out as well, and of course, being the co-host of the wake and bake.
This was a great show. Thanks for coming out.
This was a great content tonight. Good long one, gave people some content.
Oh yeah, this is an informative episode for sure.
Absolutely, man.
Very professional.
Actually, well, now that video should go.
Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, anyways, shit, man.
Find me at Don.
Shouts to Facebook and shouts to Apple.
Hold up. Wait.
Shouts to Apple for cleaning up our Mac for us because this has been running exquisitely.
That's a good thing, man. Shouts out. Thanks for cleaning that up. But Coach, where do you find you again next time?
_KOOCH.
Hit him up, man. And then, of course, man, Brad, my dude. Thank you for coming out. North Coast Cannabis. The extraordinary roller.
Thank you.
Good. I appreciate you so much.
Oh yeah, thanks for
You
having me.
gave me an educational night. Was this your first podcast, man?
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, you did fucking great, man. And I hope you weren't nervous or anything and you were up to be comfortable.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Good shit. And some people they can find you in the company.
Oh yeah, at North Coast Cannabis, North_Coast_Cannabis. Or you can check us out at northcoast.co.
I fucking love it. Oh, man. And thank all of you guys for stopping by Waking and Baking this evening. You guys know where you can find me on Instagram at The Real Blind James. Get a hold of our shows on Facebook at The Wake and Bake with Blind James. You can also watch videos or listen to everything across all the streaming platforms with that same tag. And then, of course, patreon.com/Blind James. Give us that donation to keep bringing dope-ass interviews like the one tonight. And then, other than that, man, take your stuff by Wake and Bake again. Remember, even if you lose your sight, never lose your vision.
Peace.